rise at 808 pace. Hoard a stash, flushed without trace. Let the ether breathe, let the ether breathe. Sap of a sword with a tombstone on blade. 3 AM caffeine checks debugging code cascade. Pass a leak, we boot them and pull stew. We ain't for work and we y'all know what to do. Sparkman, Swiss Army hero of the down night. Sparkman, juggling burning stars with a Lombard coin fight. We don't fork, we adapt, slapping fiat fiend with a liquidity trap. Fiat snarling about regulated chains. Sport blade splits to 9 times mid-air play. Uni beams, house what group chat. Form up Denver to Seoul, we counterattack. Sparkman, Swiss Army hero of the down night. Sparkman, juggling governance dogs with a Lombard coin fight. Snarling about regulated chains. Spork blade splits to 9 times mid-air plane. In uni beams, house squad group chat. Form up Denver to Seoul, we counterattack. Scorpion, Swiss Army hero of the dial night. Scorpion, juggling governance talks with a Myanmar coin fight. We don't fork, we don't fork. Fiat snarling about regulated chains. Sport blade splits to 9 times mid-air plane. Uni beams, squad group chat. Form up Denver, so we counterattack. She's a Colorado Comet in code forged steel. Wings snipping latency like scissors through gel. 9 centuries young with a lance that's if your chain's choking ether night whiz. Found her at a bullet hook sucking down APIs. Armor clinking with layer 2 lullabies. Scalability scripture, she winks at the moon while Lagrange drools over slow motion doom. Her shield's a disco ball, fracturing legs, grass, shooby-doo-bop crack. Ooh, that lance a lightning fork, splitting bottlenecks backs. Alliance architect with a bufficorn's grit, teaching stale protocols how to fucking commit. Decentralize this, she smirks mid-flight as her wings tickle nodes into doing things right. Da-da-da-da. Architect with a bufficorn's grit, teaching stale protocols how to fucking commit. Decentralize this, she smirks mid-flight as her wings tickle nodes into doing things right. Up to do with a do with a do with do with do 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 do. You ordered a moonwalk across gas. grass, feed graves. My main net's smoother than your mom's VPN saves. Daughter of the Rockies, high-speed high priestess. Scales of justice ballast on a Memphis Express. Next bottleneck, I see mountain crush it. Central Lazarus, flexing weak API-Js. Regenerate, roll up, unity in the veins. I blast, cut through that foot, disguised fortress walls, bulletproof. Watch scams die. How you rebuild? Collide. How we win? Don't fade. 80-year-old beam stitched the fractured map. Brittle hearts pumping, but I'm no cap. Regenerate. Yeah. We multiply when we unite. Singularities surge, protocols ignite. Regenerate. Cannon blasting through the night. Central Lazarus, dude ain't built for this fight. You tried to fork the code, but the squad don't split. Transparency spotlights, kill the glitch. Your mainframe stutter, our syncs T-Pain smooth. Region rhythm got chains dancing, no noose. Regenerate. Stacking wins like Lego blocks. Eyes peeled for snakes lurking in soccer counts. Regenerate. Fortress lock, no picking locks. Little mobs that cure your system's chicken pox. I'm the algorithm king. Hide behind my sting. Yo, this beat, fresh as morning commits. Your firewalls crumble. Click, clack, squad, don't quit. Regenerator. We multiply when we unite. Singularities surge, protocols ignite. Regenerate. Cannon blasting through the night. Central Lazarus, dude ain't built for this fight. Regenerator. Collab beats control, tell the whole damn lore. Watch the ripples, whispers, horror before the dive. Liquidity surge. Now hearts burning. Fluid fist clenches, token hoarders, the ends decay. Calming the ripside where panic can't stay. Submerge. Hoarders, greed clogs the riverbed thick. Will flicks tail. Instant bridge fix. Stash your bags, last the deep pulls king. My tidal waves, just the vault going. Flow, flow, let the ether breathe. Let the ether breathe. Flow, Token hoarders, snarls, I'll bottleneck the streams. Whale pool smirks, armor glints, moonbeam. Bring your dams, bring your greed wall schemes. My liquidity older than your Ponzi meme. Deal ties rise at 808 pace. Hoarder stash, flushed without truth. lost without trace. Let the ether breathe, let the ether breathe. Born in the Genesis block with thunder in his soul, Captain Assyrian stands 10 stories tall. With evil guns blazing and justice in his eyes, leading the Mortal Squad through crypto skies. Captain Ethereum, breaking down the walls tonight. Captain Ethereum, decentralization's light. A puffercorn charging through the storm, keeping crypto free and warm. Centralizerus thinks he's got us beat, when Captain's crystal pulse makes tyrants retreat. From Dublin to Berlin, we're building day and night, while Captain leads the charge into the fight. Captain Ethereum, breaking down the walls tonight. Captain Ethereum, decentralization's light. Puffercorn charging through the storm, keeping crypto free and warm. They say he's eternal, like a blockchain that flows. Where freedom needs defenders, that's where Captain goes. So raise your notes up high, let your smart contracts fly. The Captain's here to stay, keeping centralization away. Captain Ethereum, forever. Captain shows the way, from the Genesis block to a brighter day. Wah wah, guitar slide. Wah wah, guitar slide. Coffee for drip and the lab coat on fire. Sticky note constellation stuck to the ceiling wire. Gas fees are confetti. They rock on P Island. Homemade in 7 time. Shaboom, dose, efficiency pulse. The lad runs lagging in his latency sub. Professor Wade's got the future on spinball. Urging notes dancing where the bottleneck's been. Professor Wade's got the future on spinball. Bugging tomorrow with yesterday's ram stains. Velcro boots clicking through blockchain debris. Crypto notes flutter like drunk bumblebees. Optimize the board fins, they cackle and shout. Self-sustaining hubs flicker in the blackouts out. Professor Wade's got the future on spinball. Urging notes dancing where the bottleneck's been. Professor Wade's got the future on spinball. Bugging tomorrow with yesterday's ram stains. 3 Red Bulls in a row. What you building, prop? A singularity jukebox. How you stay charged? Espresso straight through my cortex. Who's your nemesis? Light runs dial-up-found. Age? Old speak, young as each block mine down. Professor Wade's got the future on spin, book. Urging notes, dancing where the bottlenecks been. Professor Wade's got the future on spin, book. Plugging tomorrow with yesterday's ram stains. Throwing me mad, but mad's just a beta test. A boodle, oh, he just got to do. 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 Click, clack, bosom, lace on firewall. Eyes spooked and truce from trash sheets. That's my device. Nullifier sniffing while my coke's too crisp. Mainnet gossips, tastier than breakfast chips. Story, furry, hack, flurry. Mama's making news before the cold reload. Got receipts in my cheeks, encrypted and plumbed. Your private DMs, I'm the dumpster dive chump. Eyes everywhere, not just 3 bird phones. Haunteries whisper, king chomp and blockchain bones. Make it down to my voted fuck. Stealth crawl through your junk dead scene. Let it up, the entropy. Mace cracked vaults like, who's got the keys? Nullifiers huffing, you're just a rat with These firewalls splinter to confetti bits. I'm curating leaves at the after party, sipping TLS tears. Call me well connected, I call it deep pools hum where the currents align. 8th century sharp like blockchain wine. Adaptive omissions, volatility sieve. Watch the ripples, whispers, hot before the dive. Liquidity surge, heart's burning. Fluid fist clenches, token hoarders, the ends decay. Calming the ripside where panic can't stay. Submerge. Hoarders, greed clogs the riverbed thick. Whale flicks tail, instant bridge fix. Stash your bags, last the deep rules king. My tidal waves, just the vault going. Flow, oh, oh, flow, oh, oh. Let the ether breathe, let the ether breathe. Flow, oh, oh, flow, oh, oh. Token hoarders, snarls, I'll bottleneck the streams. Whale pool smirks, armor glints, moonbeam. Bring your dams, bring your greed wall schemes. My liquidity older than your Ponzi memes. Deals highs rise at 808 pace. Hoarder stash, flushed without trace. without trace. Let the east breathe, let the east breathe. She's a Colorado comet in code forged steel, wings snipping latency like scissors through gel. 9 centuries young with a lance that's, if your chain's choking, ether night whiz. Found her at a bullet hook sucking down APIs, armor clinking with layer 2 lullabies. Scalability scripture, she winks at the moon while Lagron drools over slow motion doom. Her shield's a disco wall, fracturing legs, grass, shooby-doo-bop crack. Ooh, that lance a lightning fork, splitting bottlenecks backs. Alliance architect with a bluff acorns grit, teaching stale protocols how to fucking commit. Decentralize this, she smirks mid-flight as her wings tickle nodes into doing things right. Da-da-da-da. Architect with a buffercorn's grit, teaching stale protocols how to fucking commit. Decentralize this, she smirks mid-flight as her wings tickle nodes into doing things right. Up to do with for do with for do with with do 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 do. You ordered a moonwalk across gas feed graves. My mainnet's smoother than your mom's VPN saves. Daughter of the Rockies, high-speed high priestess, scales of justice ballast on a Memphis Express. Next bottleneck, I see mountain crush it. Coffee for drip and the lab coat on fire. Sticky note constellation stuck to the ceiling wire. Gas fees are confetti. They rock on PI Island. Get homemade in 7-4 time. Shaboom, dose, efficiency pulse. The lag runs lagging in his latency sub. Notes dancing where the bottleneck's been. Professor Way's got the future on spin. Bugging tomorrow with yesterday's ram stains. Velcro boots clicking through blockchain debris. Crypto notes flutter like drunk bumblebees. Optimize the board fins, they cackle and shout. Self-sustaining hubs flicker in the blackouts out. Professor Way's got the future on spin. Urging notes dancing where the bottleneck's been. Professor Way's got the future on spin. Bugging tomorrow with yesterday's ram stains. Chaos is not compeller. Orders just a bug I forgot to unfurl. Mainnet shivers as their wild hair glows. Rumored AI, nah, just 3 Red Bulls in a row. What you building, prof? A singularity jukebox. How you stay charged? Espresso straight through my cortex. Who's your nemesis? Lag runs dial-up found. Old speak, young as each block mine down. Professor Way's got the future on spin. Urging notes dancing where the bottleneck's been. Professor Way's got the future on spin. Bugging tomorrow with yesterday's ram stains. Throwing me back, but Test for Boodle. Centralizers, flexing weak API chains. Regenerate, roll up, unity in the veins. I blast, cut through that foot, disguised fortress walls, bulletproof. Watch scams die. How you rebuild? Collide. How we win? Don't fade. 80-year-old beam stitched a fraction map. Brittle hearts pumping, but I'm no cap. Regenerate. Yeah. We multiply when we unite. Singularities surge, protocols ignite. Regenerate. Cannon blasting through the night. Centralizers, dude ain't built for this fight. You tried to fork the code, but the squad don't split. Transparency spotlights, kill the glitch. Your mainframe stutter, our 6 T-Pain smooth. Region rhythm got chains dancing, no noose. Regenerate. Stacking wins like Lego.
Good morning, Sporkdow. Good morning, ETHDenver. We're breathing. Welcome to Sunday, which is fun day in a lot of places. For me, it's going to be sleep day a little bit later. But right now, we want to bring it home strong, okay? Probably the most important thing that we're doing here, amongst all the fun, distractions, parties, side events, whatever, is biddling. So if you remember, the biddle meme was created in 2018, or it was put into the lexicon in 2018 as sort of a parody for HODL. Bitcoin has HODL, we have biddle. So we were built as a biddle first event. Now we've grown into a very large community gathering. It really feels more like a festival, I think is probably the best description of it. And as we've grown, the side events have gotten, quite frankly, out of control. I heard there was like 900 of them this year. Okay, it's free market, so go, you do you. But we are always wanting to stay focused on biddling. Now, why? Our competitive advantage is because we are not a conference in the traditional sense. We don't focus on just the, talks and the, speakers, and it's very non-traditional. So we love that about what we do, and actually we think that you love that about what we do too. So we want to protect that. Come on, slides. How come it's not moving? All right, hold on. Try it again. Come on. Come on. Technical difficulties. Sundays are just like that, right? So, okay, I'll just do it this way if I have to. One at a time. I don't even care if it looks cute. So, ETHDenver 2026, we have a tendency, or we have a tradition that we announce next year's theme. And next year, it's Captain Ethereum and the return to Biddle City. So we introduced the Regenerates this year, which was all of the different characters. We have this Whale Pool and Professor Gwei, Ether Knight, Mighty Marmot, and Sporkman, in addition to Captain Ethereum. And then we have Regenerator, which is the combination of all the characters. But we're going to start our journey in the lore by really returning to Biddle City and remembering and maybe even reinventing a little bit what that means to our community. So let's revisit what it does mean. It means biddle first. If we're going to build this decentralized future, we're not there yet. If you haven't noticed, we're still talking about private key management and user experience and chain wars and all this kind of stuff. We haven't gotten there. We were talking about this stuff in 2018. it hasn't, we've developed a lot. There's a lot more that's possible, but we haven't arrived. So we're going to go back to our roots. We're going to really bolster the Biddle-a-thon next year in a way that's going to be very noticeable. Incentives, prizes, engagements, activations, gamification. We're going to go all in on this. So I do want to call out, though, that DevFolio and the team this year did an incredible job, and we look forward to that. So please give DevFolio a round of applause, please. Now it's working. Good. Now, before we get into the meat and potatoes of why we're here to see the projects that have risen to the top, the cream of the crop that you're going to see on stage here being judged by our celebrity judges, please take a minute and get your phone out. We know you already have it out. Scan the QR code. You're going to get this via email and text and all sorts of stuff too, so if you don't want to do it right now, I guess you don't have to do it right now. But we'd appreciate your feedback while it's fresh, while your emotions are still kind of, evaluating and sort of dialed into what we did for you this week or how we did. So scan it here, and it's actually a one question survey. We don't believe in this whole big feedback form garbage. It's just literally really simple to give your feedback and input. The actual input is optional. The one question is really the only thing that's mandatory. 10, 9, 8, anybody else? Bueller? No more phones? Okay, let's go. Okay, with that, we're going to get down to it. So, celebrity judges, where is Denver? Is he here? Where's Griff? There's Griff. Griff's right there. I see Patricio. Okay, Denver D'Souza. Where are you at, buddy? There he is. So to help introduce the celebrity judges, we have Denver from DevFolio. He and his team, again, did an excellent job. They were at the Biddle Hub all week. We've been crushing on this for months. And honestly, it's probably one of the best testaments that I can express about a community of communities coming together to collaborate to build this decentralized future. So, Denver, would you like to introduce the judges, sir? All right.
All right. First up, we have Griff. Woo! Give it up for Griff. You want to talk about?
He's our resident buffacorn. Hey, buddy. Good to see you, man. All right, next we've got Patricio Worthalter. Now, if you don't know the story behind Patricio, he founded POAP at ETHDenver 2019. And what a phenomenon that's become. It's actually probably one of my most used apps that I have, and we've used it a ton here. Who got a POAP this week? Lots of you. All right, next.
We have Nitya. Right.
So Nitya works on wallet infrastructure. We had a nice chat backstage about how she's solving this issue about wallet portability between apps. I think that is so needed. Thank you for joining us. Next is Cup of Joseph. Where you at, dude? So if you don't know Cup of Joseph, he's our lead dean over at Camp Biddle. He spent all week slinging code and just injecting the brains of our students over there with Solidity, and was a huge success. A plug for Camp Biddle for next year. We're going to actually be integrating Camp Biddle into the Biddle-a-thon more actively, so it'll be less separate, but we're going to make a whole bunch more effort to bring new devs to this space. Again, it's our free boot camp. We don't charge for it, but it does start earlier, and you have to kind of commit to a classroom setting. So more to come on that. And then last but not least,
yeah, we have Big V. Oh, right. Oh, that's Amin. Sorry.
Wait, is there a Vitalik sighting here? Good morning, Amin. Good to see you, brother. Let's see. We're going to have you sit right over here. All right. So,
Can we move all the chairs together in a row? Or
we probably can. Actually, stage. Can we get, we have a request from the judges to move the chairs closer together. I guess we can just, oh, here we go. If we can just kind of help facilitate that, guys. Okay, 1 minute break.
Fiat snarling about regulated chains. Scored blades, blades to 9 times mid-airplane. Jimmy Bean, Sasquatch group chat. Form up in Denver, so we counterattack. Deep pools hum where the currents align. 8th century sharp like blockchain wine. Adaptive our machines, volatility sieve. Watch the ripples, whispers hawk before the dive. Liquidity surge.
Gotta say, I didn't trust
Fluid fist clenches. Token hoarders, the
interviewed each one. Figured out.
calming the ripside where panic can't stay. Submerge. Hoarders, greed clogs the riverbed thick. Whale flicks tail.
We're generally colorful.
Instant bridge fix. Stash your bags, that's the deep pools king. My tidal waves, just the vault going. Flow, oh, oh, flow, oh, oh. Let the ether breathe. Let the ether breathe. Flow, oh, oh, flow, oh,
I guess, you know what, I guess we each get two.
Token hoarders, snarls, I'll bottleneck the streams. Whale pull smirks, armor cleanse, moonbeam. Bring your dams, bring your green wall scheme. My liquidity holder and the Ponzi me. Deal ties rise at 808 pace.
Wow factor.
Flushed without truth.
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding.
Yes,
I got tired.
take it really easy. The last year I dropped it poker table, and then I got sick.
What happened at the poker? Who won?
I got
You didn't sign a table.
I got beat.
Token horse snarls, I'll bottleneck the streams.
All right, we're back. Thank you for our quick stage change. We, I guess, made some assumptions and we were wrong. So in just 1 second, I'm going to give Denver the mic. I'm going to be gone for a bit. And we're going to do a whole bunch of presentations here for the finalists. I do want to say, though, please stick around. At the end, we have a whole bunch of ETHDenver swag that we're going to give away for free. Like some pretty awesome stuff. The problem is we got a bunch of stuff in storage, and like we never did swag trying to make money. In fact, it's like tiny in terms of our revenue. We like people wearing our swag, which is why we actually create things that are wearable and it's soft and nice. So you're going to get a bunch of free stuff. Take it to your friends. We'll also be announcing the new board members for SporkDAO, and I'll be announcing our most valuable Buffacorn, which is our core team and our internal teams, the people that stood out the most this event year, and we'll be doing, we'll conclude everything with our team photo. So with that, I'm out.
All right. First up, we're going to have teams from the infrastructure and scalability track present. Could we have the first team, Gas Killer, on stage? All right.
Oh, wow, yay.
Come on up, gas killer. Right.
Kill the glitch. Your mainframe stutter, our 6G pain smooth. Region rhythm, block chains dancing, no noose. Stacking wins like Lego blocks.
Woo!
And as a heads up for our presenters, you have a 5-minute pitch. Judges, you will have 2 minutes for questions. We will be strict on time, so you will be cut off if you go over time. Judges, please keep that in mind so that your questions are short and give the pitch presenters enough time to answer.
What do you say?
Presenters, give me a thumbs up that you are ready, and I'm going to count you in. You are good to go in 3, 2, 1.
All right. Hi, guys. We're presenting Gas Killer, a AVS, which lets you have up to 99% gas savings and energy savings, 0 for the regenerates. So Gas Killer is an AVS where you can go to any existing EVM contract as is. You select the function that you want to save gas on, and you auto-generate a couple of functions. You update your contract, and then you redirect the transactions to the AVS, okay? So this supports all existing EVM contracts. The way it works is that we auto-generate a view function that simulates the target function and then returns the raw storage updates to the contract. So we have our AVS operators read this view function off-chain, reach consensus on what the storage slot updates are, and then only perform the right operations to the contract, right? So any read operations, any precompiles, any calculations, we completely kill that gas. So just like for a simple use case, right, we made this voting contract on Sepolia. We also deployed to 4 other chains, and we added 400 voters to it. And we iterated to calculate the voting power. So without Gas Killer, it costs around 1,400,000 to do 400 voters. With Gas Killer, it costs 250 because you're not actually iterating on all of them on chain. You're just writing the raw storage slot updates. And we implemented attributable slashing through EigenLayer. So if the operator set signs an incorrect transition, then the full amount of stake behind it is redistributed to whoever is paying for the automation. We demonstrating the gas, so the 99% comes from like basically above 1,000 voters. We're constantly getting closer to 99%. The 1% is the constant overhead of like writing the storage slot updates. Now, this is just part 1. Part 2 is you can actually write dumb contracts now. So if you look at the code examples over here, because the code on the right-hand side is actually not run on-chain, you can do things like iterate through a mapping or infinite loops or whatever, and you actually don't have to audit your code for gas efficiency, just for security efficiency for these target functions. So we don't use ordered messages. We don't have retrievability on the signatures. This is not a blockchain. It's not an L2, and it's compatible with any EVM. We use Commonware, which is the only like BLS peer-to-peer aggregation framework that is pretty new. Yeah, anything else? Yeah, so right now, if you participate in a DAO, you probably use like Snapshot or Tally or like some sort of like snapshot-based system. The reason why your voting power is staggered is because we actually can't do the like long iteration over like an array on a blockchain, and this solves that. So you can do real-time voting instead of. Yeah, we can also look at like real Ethereum transactions that we found for like use cases where there are margins for these gas savings. And the dumb contracts can also let you do like basically go beyond the gas limit in the context of like the dumb function. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it. Thanks, guys. One more thing, Bread Chain Co-op created this, and we are like crypto cooperative. You can mint bread to support the project. It's a stable coin, and we're very happy to have contributed a regenerative project during this hackathon that actually saves energy and improves cost for everyone. Thank you.
All right, judges, please ask your questions of our bidlers.
Hey, if I wanted to move all my execution off of Ethereum, why shouldn't I just use Python on my local computer and then write the result to a contract?
Right, because then you could write whatever you want, right, for the voting power. So like you could determine that like if we are members of your DAO and you ran it on Python, then you could determine that we didn't have the balance required to have voting power, and then you could censor us. This method doesn't do that, right? Like if the AVS operators lie, then they get slashed, and then the DAO gets recompensated their total stake.
Does your AVS have slashing?
Yes.
Very
Objective on-chain slashing. You do a storage proof on the slot, on like the slots, you redo the EVM execution, and you can reach like on-chain objective analysis on whether the state transition is legal or not.
Did you guys make a front end at all?
This is like for devs. There's no, like, basically, if you are a front-end app, you're now redirecting the same exact transaction call data to the AVS instead of an RPC URL.
What's the additional latency incurred by routing through an AVS versus directly routing?
Yeah, so this might not be good for like EVMs that are like 250 millisecond like high DeFi use cases, but the use cases we identified on Ethereum are not these. Commonware is like the only BLS peer-to-peer like aggregation framework, and it's still being tested and benchmarked. But we were able to pretty easily in like 5 seconds aggregate signatures. But that 2 seconds, 2 seconds. So that's probably going to be like incremented on. We would like to do N of N ECDSA instead of BLS, because then it takes the Turetsky upper gas limit to like 4,000. I'm calling it the Turetsky upper gas limit. It's actually universal for any deterministic like blockchain environment. You could implement this on Solana or whatever. But yeah, we could get that like constant overhead with like also for the storage slots. If we do call data compression, we can also get like some reductions there. So the 250 like will be improved.
Do all the voters need to be online and voting at the same time for the?
So there's liveness tolerance. Like I guess the approach would be to do 66%, right? But I think an N of N approach is like also interesting, just because like attributable slashing would make it like really clear to the consumer. Ultimately, it depends on the use case. If you don't need liveness.
Thank you to our first team. That is time.
All right. Next up, we have Batched. Let's give it up for Batched.
All right, presenters, give me a thumbs up that you are ready. Awesome. You are good to go in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everybody. My name is Sanjay Amritraj, and I'm joined with Surdeep Das, and we're both from Blockchain at Berkeley. And in one statement, what we've done in the last few days is parallelize the EVM. So EVM parallelization has been a big issue since the inception of the chain itself, from 2017 all the way to Vitalik's most recent talk. To summarize it, it's very much needed for Ethereum to keep up with other chains like Mega ETH and even things like Solana. But previous techniques like speculative concurrency haven't exactly worked and have actually decreased the performance of the EVM. However, we've come up with an alternative solution using state access batching in order to parallelize the EVM and increase throughput by 1.54 times. Here we can see an animation on how exactly this works. We're using EigenLayer's AVS to allow operators to batch transactions based on their state accesses. For those who are non-technical, batching by state access is sort of like two individuals writing a book. If the two people are working on separate chapters, you guys can go ahead and write whatever you want. But if you guys are working on the same paragraph, you guys might conflict with each other. Our EigenLayer AVSs batches the groups and transactions like writers who are working on different sections of the book, so that there are no overlaps and all compute is done off-chain in a verifiable way. This allows for extremely high execution speeds and throughput. By the time in our simulation that the batch processing is done, individually processing was barely even 50% there. Once this animation finalizes, you can sort of get a good understanding of how much faster our batch processing actually is. While we slow down the animation proves around a 36% increase in speed, but overall, through over 50,000 transactions on the Ethereum mainnet, we found that this batch simulation with n is equal to 5 batches increases throughput by 1.54 times.
So what you can see on the screen right now is the AVS running on a local system, and this is actually looking at Ethereum mempool data right now and forming parallel batches. There's also something magical going on the screen where we're posting the block data constituting the parallel and the sequential batches on-chain. We're posting it on IPFS and posting the hash on-chain, and that helps enforce the slashing condition that AVS brings into the equation. Now, what happens is when the block is actually executed on Ethereum, on any EVM chain, you use the hash to fetch the actual constant of the block and verify if the parallel batches were actually valid. And if they were not, there was a time penalty incurred, which actually slows down the EVM, counterintuitive. And that's how we keep the operators accountable, and we get reliable, parallelizable blocks.
Awesome. Now let's take a look at the actual dashboard itself. As you can see here, you can take a look at the proposed block. We have n is equal to 5 batches to solve the NP hard problem of how many batches we can actually use for true optimality. If the transactions don't fit in any of the 5 batches, we order them sequentially, meaning that the lower bound, if all goes well for our proposal, is the same speed as Ethereum mainnet. On the higher case, if all transactions fit into one batch, we're able to parallelly execute them all at once. We've also made it easy to visualize. The deeper the purple in each of the batches, the more transactions when it comes to transaction density. You can also take a look at each of the hashes of the individual transactions in each batch, all reading from Ethereum mainnet within the transaction batches. We've also set up a few metrics. First, you can see on the right is the public goods reward. Right now, for proposers, there's no incentive to actually make the EVM faster, other than block propagation time and the rewards that they're getting. So we've proposed a public goods basket for individuals to contribute to the increased parallelization of the EVM. Another alternative to this is to change the way that gas fees are sort of burnt and allowing for executors and clients with parallelization techniques to get a bigger piece of the pie when it comes to gas fees. You can also see total transactions and total transaction fees on the right when it comes to the metrics. Overall, we think that increasing Ethereum throughput is one of the problems that does need to be solved. It's been a long-standing problem, and through EigenLayer AVS, we think that we've come up with a solution that can be optimized further and used for the better good of Ethereum, L2s, and even alt L1s. The last thing that we wanted to talk about is our execution client. How exactly do you get this to work on-chain when it comes to using it today? Although writing an execution client takes a lot of time, we've started implementation of a parallelization execution client. You can take a look at the code all in our GitHub, as well as the code for our front end, our back end, and our AVS. We also have a README of how much progress we've made so far, if you want to take a better look and a closer look at our custom client implementation details. Overall, we wanted to speed up the Ethereum EVM. We think it has many use cases, and thank you all for taking your time to listen to us.
Judges, go ahead with your questions.
First question, would implementing something like this require an EIP and a hard fork?
That's a great question. So right now, what we're trying to do is look at state accesses of each of these transactions, and we're just forming blocks which reach the same computed state. So what our client essentially is if you use the client, you end up doing parallel execution of these transactions. If you do not, you end up with the same state, but computed sequentially. So I don't think we're going for an EIP change. And the whole idea is about making this on Ethereum today.
How much of this did you guys build, and how much did EigenLayer give you already? Because EigenLayer, the AVS already has batching, right?
So what we're doing is we're just using AVS to have the reliability and the trust factor built in, because we know that sequential, wrong parallelizable order actually slows down the EVM. We've built our own algorithm to find these state accesses of each of these transactions and group them together into the most parallelizable orders that we could. So the algorithm is all ours. We're just using AVS for the trust and the restaking guarantees that it brings with it.
So where would this come into play? Would it be someone running a node, or would it be the batch builders, or who actually gets to, who would use this?
Yeah, so we're thinking about, there's two options. So the sequencer or the proposer, layer 1, layer 2, could look at this dashboard and form their block themselves, or they could use the client, which basically feeds off this data. So we've built out the brain, which basically feeds the client and executes according to the order this says you to do.
Thank you, everybody.
All right, Denver, you're up.
All right, next up we have Team Baseline, and we have Baseline on the stage. Sweet.
Professor Way's got the future on spin, urging notes dancing where the bottlenecks been. Professor Way's got the future on spin, plug in tomorrow with yesterday's ram stains. Calling me mad, but mad's just a beta test for Boodle. Oh, he just tried to do
All right, give me a thumbs up. Awesome, you are good to go in 3, 2, 1.
Hello everyone, my name is Joche.
I'm Rowan. And I'm Scott, and we are Baseline, crypto for every caller. It's an unfortunate reality. Web3 has a complexity problem. Managing your assets has been growing increasingly hard with the amount of blockchains we have to deal with, whether it's ETH, Solana, Bitcoin, and not everyone's a crypto native. There's also a bit of an accessibility problem. You might not have internet. You also need to be locked in. You never know when the latest news is going to come out and your portfolio is going to dump. And also, if you've ever tried to onboard a Web2 friend, it's pretty hard. It's not as easy as Cash App or Venmo, and that's an unfortunate reality. But we have a solution for all of this. You're just one call away or text from onboarding your friend, but also having a super intelligent voice assistant. Our AI-powered agent framework is an orchestration framework that takes a mixture of expert agent set and is able to perform tasks on your behalf. We have a very intuitive interface, which we'll highlight in a few moments. Some of the key features, obviously you need to be able to check your balances, do transfers. We have a very simple onboarding process through Coinbase smart wallets with session keys to manage that infrastructure. And our orchestration framework has a very modular architecture that we can continue to build out for all our interesting use cases that are coming up. Our tech stack is pretty typical Web3, so we'll just skip that for brevity. And then we'll get to the framework that we built here called YALF, yet another orchestration framework, or what we say, yes, another orchestration framework. You can't see that, so I'm not going to show that. Go to the next slide. Can't see that, but I'll quickly describe what's going on here. So we have on the left-hand side our input modeling that takes any speech, chat, whatever, into our central orchestration agent. It formulates a request context initialization plan, or basically an execution plan with a shared memory environment with all the agents. And we have two types of agents. We have the workflow, more heuristic-enabled agents, and then the more interesting agentic type agents that will perform autonomous tasks for you, although non-deterministic. And then you get the response out. Some of our competitive advantages will have AI-driven personalization, seamless integration, a user-friendly interface is key. our scalable architecture works on any phone, no internet required. And then obviously the chain has some, we're using base right now, but it's probably omni-chain applicable. And you know what? We'll go right to the demo. So here is actually kind of the front end of the back end. So this is the brain, if you will. On the left-hand side is going to show kind of the chat. I'm going to make a phone call in a second. You'll be able to see that. The orchestrator logs here is basically the execution plan that's going to be happening. And in the bottom here are the agents that we've set up for this particular demo. And you'll see them kind of turning green when they're being interacted with. Hey, how's it going?
Hello. How can I assist you today?
I'd like to onboard my friend. Can you send him one USDC to 443-618-1111?
I've successfully sent one USDC to your friend. You can view the transaction here. Thank you for taking the step to always enable USDC. Always remember, we are here to help.
Awesome. What's my USDC balance on base right now?
Your balance on the base network is approximately 4.976 USDC.
Awesome.
If you need any further assistance, feel free to ask. You're welcome. If you need anything else, just let me know.
And that's just the simplest use case. There's a plethora of way more interesting use cases than that. That actually isn't even using the agentic side of things. That is strictly just API calls and workflow agents. The more interesting things are goal-oriented agents, and we're going to be building that hopefully after this. Oh, if we have a bit more time, we also have a progressive web app front end that we built that integrates all the has that whole on-chain kit from Coinbase and has session key management or spend permission management for users.
What's an example of a goal-oriented framework that you were saying?
Well, it could be something as simple as maybe an agent's monitoring Google Trends and it sees some crazy announcement like ADA or whatever. Actually, I won't go to that. Something happens and you want to stable out or not stable out. It can be monitoring this on some interval and then make that decision for you. So if you're out stuck in the desert but you do have phone access, you can say, hey, in the next 2 hours, watch this. Watch the news and make sure I can stable out if something bad happens.
Is that what you meant for the no internet needed?
Yes. Yes. You don't need a smartphone. I mean, you can just make a phone call. So the agent's hosted in some cloud, and then you call it. Actually, we got a lot of inspiration from 1-800-CHAT-GPT, which I think just came out maybe a month or 2 ago. And so we'll have the same thing. We'll create a nice vanity thing called like 1-800-BASELIN or Agent AI or something. And
is there a use case where you're like, no, we don't want smartphone. There's people who don't have smartphones. Well, like, what's the use case?
Of course. Actually, I think that the number one thing here that we've shown. I mean, the framework is cool, and it will be modular, so we can bring in other frameworks. But the accessibility side is actually what our core focus on was here. So it's the best onboarding experience, and we think that, and for everybody, inclusive.
If I fake your voice, can I rob you?
If you fake my voice, can you rob us? I think we'll have to set up some guardian agent and voice agent to monitor that then.
Likewise, I was going to ask, how do you verify the identity of the caller?
How do we identify? So right now it's just through a phone, and obviously there's spoofing issues there. But yeah, we're going to work through all the security issues as we kind of formulate the plan more.
You guys are great. That's great. Amazing. Well done.
Great job.
I'm glad you guys are on there. You guys are going to keep bringing the hype.
Good job, guys.
Sorry.
All right, next up we're going to have the Impact and Public Goods track. And the first team presenting for the track is Face Buddy. Woo!
rise at 808 pace. Hoard or stash, flushed without trace. Let the ether breathe, let the ether breathe. Sap of a sword with a tombstone and blade. 3 a.m. caffeine checks debugging code cascade. Pass a leak, we boot them and pull stew. We ain't for work and we y'all know what to do. Sparkman, Swiss Army hero of the down night. Sparkman, juggling governance talks with a Lombard coin fight. We don't fork, we adapt. Slapping fiat fiend with a liquidity trap. Fiat snarling about regulated chains. Sport blade splits to 9 times mid-air to play. Uni beams, ask what group chat. Form up Denver to Seoul. We counterattack. Sparkman, Swiss Army hero of the down night. Sparkman, juggling governance talks with a Lombard coin fight. Snarling about regulated chains. Spork blade splits to 9 times mid-airplane. Uni beams, ask the squad group chat. Form up Denver, so we counterattack. Scorpion, Swiss Army hero of the dial night. Scorpion, juggling governance talks with a Myanmar coin fight. We don't fork. We don't fork. Fiat snarling about regulated chains. Sport blade splits to 9 times mid-airplane. Uni beams, ask squad group chat. Form up Denver, so we counterattack. She's a Colorado comet in code forged steel. Wings snipping latency like scissors through gel. 9 centuries young with a lance that's if your chain's choking Ethernight whiz. Found her at a bullet hook sucking down APIs. Armor clinking with layer 2 lullabies. Scalability scripture, she winks at the moon while Lagron drools over slow motion doom. Her shield's a disco wall, fracturing legs, grass, crack.
All right, thank you for your patience while we set things up to improve a little for the judges' viewing angle. Presenters, give me a thumbs up. Awesome. All right, you are good to go in 3, 2, 1.
Yo, 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 what is up, ETHDenver? How are we all doing? Good? Awesome. My name is William.
I'm Xavier.
We're from Waterloo Blockchain, and we are FaceBuddy. Did you know there's 1.4 billion unbanked individuals around the world? Knowing that 3.4 billion don't have smartphones and 2.6 billion don't have internet. How are we supposed to give these billions of people financial inclusion if they can't be paid? And this is a massive problem. $5.7 trillion is lost annually due to lost productivity from lack of financial infrastructure. That's 5% of the current global GDP. And that's why we decided to create FaceBuddy. Pay and connect with anyone just by scanning their face. It's seamless transactions for the unbanked, internet limited, and smartphone-less people. So what does that look like? Let's jump into the demo. So we have a web mobile app here. What you would first do is connect your MetaMask wallet, and then you would take a photo to get your facial hash. It's processing the image right now. And perfect, we have our face, we have our wallet inputted. You can also put in optional public social medias you want to share, like LinkedIn, Telegram, Twitter.
You can choose your preferred token here. Imagine I'm a contractor working for William. I want to be paid in USDC, but he only has euros. That's why I put that here.
And you can also put in a human ID to prove your humanity with Humanity Protocol. So let's register our face now after Xavier types everything in. Perfect, we're registering our face. A few things are happening. We're registering our preferred currency through a smart contract. We're registering our facial hashes onto Walrus, and we're also issuing a Humanity Protocol credential with our verified socials. Let's fetch our credentials just to see that it has been done. So let's wait for our API call to run. Perfect. So we've been doing a lot of testing, but this is the latest credential we issued, March 1st, 2025, and those are all of his verified socials. Now let's say I want to pay Xavier. He did some work for me, and
hey, bro, you owe me money, but I don't have my wallet, I don't have a smartphone, or I don't have internet. How can you pay me?
I need your wallet address to pay you. Come on, you gotta send it.
But I'm on FaceBuddy, bro. It's no problem.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, let me pay. Look, Xavier has $0 in his wallet. He's a brokey. Let's change that, right? Yeah, let's go. Okay. So let's connect my wallet. Let's disconnect and sign up with my
Coinbase Smart Wallet.
Perfect. And now, hey, FaceBuddy, pay this guy 10 cents. Perfect. Our agent is running. It's able to recognize Xavier's face and his human ID, and now it's calling our agent.
We're using a ZK-TLS agent using opacity, so we're using OpenAI 4.0, and that's ZK verified.
So let's wait for it to run. It does take a while. Oh, perfect. It's able to grab the amount.
The preferred token, which is USDC, and it realizes, hey, wait a second, William has ETH, but I want USDC. So it's swapping automatically on base mainnet with Uniswap v4 to my preferred token. And the transaction here is fully sponsored, fully free on base mainnet.
And this is super important because if you imagine unbanked people, they don't have the disposable income to pay for gas fees. So let's wait for the transaction to go through. We'll take a few seconds. Perfect. Let's view our transaction. Let's view on the block explorer. 10 cents in, out, 10 cents in. Perfect. 7 seconds ago, out with ETH and with 10 cents of USDC. Let's see if you got paid. Yo, you got paid. Let's go. You're rich. Woo. Okay. And just to prove this isn't hard coded, let me scan my face. Let's say Xavier wants to connect with me. Hey, FaceBuddy, connect on LinkedIn. So Xavier can also connect with me through all of my verified socials. We're using Humanity Protocol to do that. Let's see if it works. It's going to take a few seconds.
There you go.
Perfect. That is my LinkedIn indeed. Okay, let's jump back to the presentation. So how did we do all this? This is our tech stack. We're using FaceAPI.js for face recognition. We're using the opacity verifiable agent on top of EigenLayer AVS for our AI agent. We're using gas-free USDC transactions on base using on-chain kit. We have Uniswap for auto-swapping to preferred tokens for payment. We have social and human verification with Humanity Protocol. So we hope you will join us and bring the next billion unbanked users on-chain with FaceBuddy. Thank you.
I noticed you guys don't have a lot of facial hair. I'm wondering if I shave my beard, do I lose access to all my money?
Yeah, that is a great question. So we're not actually looking at the image. We're actually looking at your facial hash, which is the distances between your different facial features. So it doesn't really take into consideration like your hair, for example. It's looking at your eyes, your nose, your mouth, all of that. Yeah. That's a great question, though.
Are there any security issues that you could see happening? I mean, can you just do it to a picture? Does that work? Or are there any other issues like that?
Yeah, that is a great question. So one of the issues is definitely like exposing the facial hash publicly. Right now we're doing that due to the hackathon, but in the future we want to implement like a nullifier so that we'll be able to share like basically a hash that doesn't expose anything about your face. And also we're not storing the images of your face. It's only it is only like the distances between
Hey FaceBuddy, can you send me some money?
If Vitalik registers on platform, we can definitely send all of you money.
Any other questions?
So if he doesn't have a smartphone or any of these things, how did he create his account?
Yeah, that is a great question. So for people that without smartphones, they could go to like a public facility such as a library. They only have to register once with their face, and anywhere they go to, they can get paid. So like Xavier registers once with my face, anybody can take out their phone, scan him, and pay him.
And then how do they use it?
So they could go back to like their public library, and then they can spend their funds. Of course, without a smartphone, you don't have that flexibility to spend it whenever they want. That's actually one of our next steps. We want to allow these people to pay with their face. That is something that China is doing with WeChat Pay. Over 500 million users are doing that. But we didn't get the chance to do that, unfortunately. But we thought this was a good MVP.
Did you think if you are under duress, you can have like blinks 5 times so the money doesn't go to the destination, assuming that someone is forcing you to the transaction? Have you thought on a passcode that you could do out of your gestures?
Yeah, we could do a passcode. A lot of like face payment things that require you to be close to the thing, be lively. Yeah.
If I have a twin, can they steal my money?
That's a great question. We haven't thought about that. We're thinking of adding multiple biometrics, such as your fingerprint or your palm, in the future. That way, like the collisions between your face and your fingerprint is basically very, very low.
Great work.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Woo!
Cheers, man. All right. Next up, we have Team Ethical Fish. Well, folks.
My device, nullifier sniffing by my corpse too crisp. Mainnet gossips, tastier than breakfast chips. Story, hack, flurry. Mama's making news before the cold reload. Got receipts in my cheeks, encrypted and plumbed. You private DMs, I'm the dumpster dive jump. Eyes everywhere, match 3 bird phones. Haunteries whisper, king chomping blockchain bones. Make it down to my voted fuck. Stealth crawl through your junk dead scene. Pen it up to the entropy. Mace cracked vaults like who's got the keys? Nullifiers huffing. You're just a rat with these firewalls splinter to confetti bits. I'm curating leaks at the after party, sipping TLS tears. Call me well connected, I call it. Centralizer is flexing weak API chains. Regenerate a roll up, unity in the veins. I blast, cut through that foot disguise. Fortress walls bulletproof. Watch scams die. How you rebuild? Collide. How we win? Don't fade. 80 beam stitch the fractured map. Brittle hearts pumping. Bro, no cap. Regenerate. Yeah. We multiply when we unite. Singularity surge, protocols ignite. Regenerato. Cannon blasting through the night. Centralizers, dude ain't built for this fight. You tried to fork the code, but the squad don't split. Transparency spotlights, kill the glitch. Your mainframe stutter, our 6 T-Pain smooth. Region rhythm, blockchains dancing, no noose. Regenerato. Stacking wins like Lego blocks. Eyes peeled for snakes lurking in sock accounts. Regenerato. Fortress lock, no picking locks. Little mobs to cure your system's chicken pox. I'm the algorithm king. High happy out of my sting. Yo, this beat, fresh as morning commits, your firewalls crumble. Click, clack, squad, don't quit. Regenerator. We multiply when we unite. Singularity surge, protocols ignite. Cannon blasting through the night. Centralize arrest, dude ain't built for this fight.
All right, presenters, are you ready to go? Give me that thumbs up. All right, thank you. You are good to go in 3, 2, 1.
A good friend of mine once told me that the fisherman's motto goes something like this: early to bed, early to rise, fish like hell and tell many lies. We are ethical fish, and we're here to put an end to that rhyme.
Ethical fish reward sport fishermen for catch and release fishing. So Anthony caught a fish. He's going to take a hero shot. He's going to take a bump shot. And he's going to release the fish.
Next, we can review our catch. We gotta let the frames load in. And we set our hero. We set our bump. And we set our release. Once we submit, that becomes a verified NFT, or unverified NFT, apologize, on the blockchain.
So basically, this page right here is meant for data collection. A GoPro stream, satellite GPS, weather, time, location on the phone, and that all gets sent to a ZK proof to verify the fisher's location on the body of water that they're fishing in a derby, so that we can have Tinder for fish. This is verified it catches on a lake. And if I'm catching 40-incher after 40-incher, I don't want anyone knowing where I am. So the admins and the sanctioning body and the community members get to vote on whether a fish was ethically caught or not. So let's look at this one. Oh, yeah, they caught that one properly. They caught that one properly. That one, no, they cheated. They cheated. And then once the sanctioning body verifies that a fish was caught ethically,
it becomes a verified NFT, and now you can claim it for fish token that you can use in your next derby or towards your next derby.
I can claim the reward. Yep, so we claim the reward, and the idea is that this NFT can be stored on the blockchain, and that's how we're using blockchain for this. But currently, sport fishing derbies, the way they work is somebody catches a really big fish. Normally, the big fish are the fish that are breeding, right? These are the big fish that are breeding, building up the population. And they're transported miles and miles away to the podium where they hold this big fish out of water in a live well, and then they release it way away from their habitat. So it decimates the habitats, the populations, and this is a virtual fishing derby application.
All right, questions? We're ready for questions now. I know they said they wanted to do questions. Ma'am?
Questions are over here.
Over here, buddy.
Yeah.
On your
I
did not even notice you guys were on stage.
No, it's cool. It's
Whoa.
cool.
Hello.
You were doing a lot of fishing,
Oh
I
my
understand.
God. Wow. Hello.
Yeah. So why, if you're doing a sports tournament, why do you need the blockchain for this? Isn't it being run by a centralized system? And
That's a good question. I mean, you're right. You can do this without the blockchain. There's no reason why the blockchain makes it possible. However, I think it brings trust to the fishermen. They know that nobody's tampering with this because we're providing the zero-knowledge proofs on-chain. we're providing the results on chain, and these verified catches are on chain. And so, you know, nobody can tamper with that. And, you know, fishermen, they I think, would appreciate that side of things.
I could imagine having like official devices that you give the fishermen, and you could have like, basically I'll be automating the judging and things like that. Could be pretty cool.
Yeah, we've thought of tension on the fishing pole, so you can get the weight and like how hard it's thrashing. We've got like, there's little like bobs that have LiDAR, and they actually see the fish under them. There's a lot of cool tech in the fishing world.
Is there a mechanism here that the NFTs are worth anything?
Yeah, so the people who would be interested in backing a coin like that is the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Services to preserve and study fish, lake communities who want to see their kids fish in 100 years, and sport fishing derbies who've literally created an industry around this. So they, you might imagine having paid leagues that offer a better exchange for your catches, whereas free maybe would be a minimal reward just to get the people, you know, interested in the whole idea. But there already are many monthly recurring revenue models with fishing leagues and running these derbies. People win a lot of money in these derbies, maybe $2,000–$3,000 for the winning fish.
Is there anything preventing someone from uploading the same fish that they caught multiple times?
So we actually, you answer this? Yeah, go for it.
So we can use the bump data to identify the tail type, the fin type, the eye type. There's spots on the fish. And we were talking with Wire. We were like, dude, you could catch the same fish. You know, like, what happens? Next generation NFT. But in sport fishing derbies, there's tagged fish. And it's extremely rare to catch the same fish. So like in the derbies, they'll give away a boat for capturing a tagged fish. So there's a lot of opportunity there. And you know, if somebody catches the same fish, like, that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. Are there other use cases that you could imagine this tech being used besides fishing?
Just in terms of the exchange side, the idea is that fishing communities, sanctioning bodies, sea and life, nonprofits, they would love this data. You know, just the bump board of the fish. There's no like standardized like image of a fish. So all these fish detection models like work on in the ocean capture of a fish. This one is like you caught the fish, it's there, like it's an NFT.
Are you guys like hardcore fishermen? Like, do you guys do this a lot?
No, we recently got into fishing. One of our good friends, we've been talking to him about this idea for a while, and he's a pro fisherman, so he really inspired
All right, and
us.
that is all of the time we have for questions.
Well done,
Thank
guys.
you.
That was crazy.
Thank you.
While they're walking off, I just want to say this is a funding the commons problem, because the lakes and the natural resources in it is the commons, and that is one of the primary themes for ETHDenver this year. So thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right, let's give it up for Ethical Fish and welcome Action Item on stage.
Flushed without trace.
Presenters, give me a thumbs up that you are ready to go. Thumbs up, awesome. You are good to begin in 3, 2, 1.
GM, everyone, how's it going? So we built Action Item. Action Item is the great open source platform that converts conversations into GitHub issues. And we use these technologies, and this is the four of us. So I'm Mel, this is Colin, the previous head of MetaMask Developer Relations. I'm Mel from Frutero Club, Christian from Rotea, and Igmer from Brox. So you've probably seen this scenario a couple of times already. Or not a couple of times, you probably lived this scenario more than 10 times. So you've heard happening great conversations, great ideas, exchanges. For example, here, we have two great founders that are talking to our lead DevRel, and he's listening to them and trying to find how to help them. Well, what if instead of the usual, oh, yeah, let's follow up on Telegram, let's take a picture and we'll talk later, or even worse, like, oh, you should talk to these people. Well, what if out of these conversations, an automatic first founder, for example, just launched a new feature. Oh, what if we execute a marketing campaign on Twitter immediately as they are talking, where you can share your latest features, you contact key opinion leaders, and you share what you've built, even with bounties posted. The second founder, he's a very visionary founder, but he's not technical. Well, what if you could help him create an actionable execution plan on GitHub with product requirements documentation, and even post GitHub issues backed by on-chain bounties? Well, we're crowdsourcing idea validation and creation of solutions to the community. So what we're doing is capturing these conversations and placing them on our website where you can explore them. Community members can search for the best ideas by liking them, so we're validating by the community which are the ideas that make the most sense to be built. And even better, we can allow collection, so you can actually start the crowdfunding for your idea and start a pool for the bounties. After this, since we are developer relations team, we create projects and we enable three modes for our founders: growth mode, build mode, and a fundraiser mode. So for the marketing, the growth mode is marketing one that creates a campaign. Of course, the fundraise one will look for grants for you, will connect you with investors and people who are interested in funding your idea. And the most powerful one that we built is the build mode one. So the build mode one is going to actually take all of the conversation and translate all of this using our well-executed template with 7 best practices for software development, and create a full plan for your founder with GitHub issues posted with on-chain bounties. So this is already live. You can check the output later in our QR. So all of this ends up in a bounty board where people can actually come and start finding job opportunities, start finding how to solve solutions that their communities are suffering, or even you as a developer, okay, well, I have issues connecting with people, and I see somebody that also has that issue. Oh, I'm going to build that because I'm going to get paid, and I'm going to help more people that are also in the same situation as me. Next, community leaderboard. This is something in the works, so we will use the social graph from Farcaster to start detecting who are the best builders, who are the people who are actually providing the most value. So it doesn't matter your background, you're technical or not, you'll be featured there. So you are the person to talk to, you are the person who can get stuff done, no matter your technical background. So yeah. And a little bit how it's built. We have our OMI wearable as providers. OS, the double OS is for the templates that get everything executed. We integrate with the actions and model context protocol to actually get everything built straight into a GitHub or any other system. GitHub is just the first part. So this is a model output of what gets it built. This is for our application. The next one shows the issues that we created, and very detailed explanation of the issues, the technical details, and the acceptance criteria, all without having to know how to code. But projects are just the beginning.
So what we want to see is take this to the next level. We don't want this to be a hackathon project. We believe this is something that will change the lives of every DevRel who's at this hackathon, but could also be reapplied to investors or founders, anyone who's seeking help on marketing, fundraising, or building. So we encourage you to please fork the Dabble Kit. That was the original name of it. Action Item is our app, and we really want to keep building on this. So go to our GitHub, scan the QR code, download the app, go buy your own, or we'll give you one. And we want to say thank you to our sponsors, Polygon Technology. They have a huge grant program. We also have Omi.me, who provided these devices, just an in-kind donation. We gave away over 600 of these at ETH hackathons. I want to say thanks to Brotea, who built this amazing.
Thank you to our presenters. Judges, 2 minutes for your questions.
How much of this was built during the hackathon, and what wasn't built during the hackathon? And yeah.
I guess we were using the open source OMI platform. That's the one that captures the conversations, but everything else was built here.
Okay, so the AI capturing the conversations was built before, but then everything else was actually built here. Amazing. Really well done.
Did you guys meet here or were you friends before?
That's the best part.
Nos conocimos. ¿Habla español o qué?
I don't think the
so. We
audience
actually
do.
met at Agent Camp. So Agent Camp is something that was hosted by Dabble Club, where they were showing people how to build AI agents. So this guy right here is a crack dev. He underscores how much of a crack dev he is. But they taught us how to build AI agents, and I was part of Agent Camp, and I linked with them here. What I did is during Agent Camp, I built an AI agent, deployed it on Telegram and Discord, and the rest is history.
It's my first time in one scenario, and I don't speak English too good, but I want to say thanks to Mel because he introduced me in Web3 ecosystem and Frutero Club, the community. I was working in one idea, ETHDenver, today for you, tomorrow for me. It's one idea that I was working in the last 2 years, and now it's growing with Brotea. And I am very happy to know, we are focused on mobile development with Web3 and focus on mobile core ecosystem for all the ecosystem on Web3.
One quick question. I think I might have missed it. How does this use the chain?
So the lags are on-chain ERC20 tokens minted to the idea creator and the collections for the
All right,
NFTs.
that is all of the time we
Thank you.
have for
Great
this
work.
presentation.
All right. Next up, we have the DAOs and community track, and we have Zeo coming up. Let's give it up for Zeo.
Awesome. All right, brief housekeeping for the judges. Judges, if you are parched, I put water bottles behind the chair, just so you know. And for our presenters, if you want to give me a thumbs up that you are ready to go, and awesome. All right, you are good to start in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Eric Sachio-Nans. Kelvin. Bitri. Mundafe. And together, we have made Zeo. We're putting more power back into the hands of fans, artists, promoters, and venues. This is our team. We have a fully stacked team. We all met here this week. Thanks. We're focused on real-world problem examples, and I've been preparing for this week for a few months. This week, I hosted a hacker mansion with my friends, and we had a venue change the agreed capacity terms the day before the week of events. We had events scheduled all day during the week, but we had to scramble, find new venues, find new places to host our events, leaving us in a difficult situation. I also threw a little music event on Friday, and we had our opening DJ cancel hours before the event. Another artist canceled, or he was an hour late to his event, so I had to pick up the pace for these guys. And so our on-chain event protocol is now going to start taking venues and promoters artists and vendors and putting all transactions through multi-sig contracts that deploy the tickets to the fans. So this is going to create a whole new paradigm for the event industry.
I've been on every side of the music industry, booking shows and having bands not show up, being the artist and being stiffed by the venue later, and like the rest of you, being a fan, being screwed by Ticketmaster. Zayo is the solution to these issues and many more. The Zayo DAO controls the building and updating of the Zayo dApp. But it is a dependent ecosystem where every fan, artist, and promoter who uses the Zayo dApp to buy tickets or create shows earns reputation in Zayo DAO, aligning the music community and the business interests of those who are actually part of it every day. Contract violations happen. It's a fact of life, it's a fact of business, but going to court is expensive and slow. We are developing an AI arbitrator. When our contracts are sent to arbitration, the AI puts a hold on the contract for 7 days, and both parties are asked to submit evidence within 5. The AI analyzes the evidence and gives judgment. Parties then have 2 days to appeal. At final judgment, funds are released accordingly, and all evidence and judgments are available as legal standing if courts are later involved.
As a result from our innovation, our event DAOs can now direct and manage event resources. There's going to be a lot more transparency with all the event funds. We're going to gamify user experience and incentivize behavior metrics. Now here's a demo of our protocol.
Thank you. Our users are artists, music venues, and fans. They are not technical. They don't have wallets. They don't want to use smart contracts. They just want to use the application without a wallet and be able to use the chain without paying for gas. So our solution, as you just saw, it logs in without a wallet. Basically what happened is we used Octo for their social login. So you log in with your Google account one time, and then it will remember you. And then we use the Octo's Paymaster functionality so that we'll pay for gas without them knowing that there is a wallet behind the scenes or that there is a blockchain event behind the scenes. So we want to abstract the blockchain away.
We have developed this smarter that AI in Newton Joe. This is all the functionality we developed in ETHDenver. So they are deployed on base network.
Thank you. That's all we had.
Thank you. Hey, how's it going?
Does the agent that does arbitration have its own wallet? How does it call things on chain?
We have not been able to implement that yet, so that is to do.
It will do. It will do because agent should have the wallet to every to decide the complete. Yeah.
Cool. Good.
Is there any concern about like people knowing how much other people get paid and that being a problem? Like transparency on the blockchain isn't always great for businesses.
Yeah, so you can implement a lot of security solutions and privacy solutions now with like FHE. There's a lot of other solutions, mixers. We can use these type of solutions to abstract away some of that, because not everyone here needs to know how much money we spent to throw this event. Like that information is probably proprietary intellectual property, so we wouldn't be sharing that with everyone.
Well, how would you imagine that working with the DAO? You know, it looks like he has got.
So we have a Explorer that allows different permissions now. For those who are more technically savvy, we do not yet have a way to hide that information. But for general public, the Explorer will only share for fans certain information and for artists, and depending on your role.
And how did you imagine the DAO working, like the governance process?
Sure. So the DAO governance, every time you purchase a ticket, you then, you then get an amount of reputation, just like, just the same with when you create.
And how do they vote?
How do they vote? Voting system works same as it would. Currently, we're using Decent DAO. They have a nice GUI interface.
All right, that is all of the time that we have.
All right, next up we have Team Seeley. And we have Seeley up on stage.
Token hoarder snarls, I'll bottleneck the streams. Whale pool smirks, armor cleanse, moonbeam. Bring your dams, bring your greed wall schemes. My liquidity's older than your Ponzi meme. Deal ties rise at 808 pace. Hoarder stash, flushed without trace. Without trace.
All right, the presenters are already giving me a thumbs up. They know the deal. You are good to go in 3, 2, 1.
Hi everyone, this is Vincent. This is Richard. We built Zilla, orchestrate agents with our soul. So what problems are we trying to solve? Okay, so if you're here, then you ask the question, how much can we trust middlemen? But then at the same time, how much can we trust the agents? Are they running on a black box with hallucination on someone else's LLM with bias? So after we submit the hack, actually, we just saw this, like Vitalik dropped this. Okay, AI as the engine, human as the steering wheel. That's nicely captured the direction we go after. So specifically, we want to target on content. So are you really trusting your agents to trade on behalf of you on some misinformation? Or are you tired by the city content generated by AI agents? So to demo, we built this autonomous news agency where you will see the content is curated, written, refilled, fact-checked, and deployed by agent according to what the community wants. Okay, welcome to the week in Ethereum. Sounds familiar, okay? So the AI agents nicely capture what is happening this week. And you can see even the image itself is generated by AI agent, and it is stored on-chain. So the whole website is stored on-chain thanks to EIP 4844 BLOB. Okay, and it's behind the ENS, so it's censorship resistant. And how are we empowering this? This is based on our content management systems for agents, and it's governed by our community. So how it works is, okay, users from the community can access this token-gated platform, and then you can just like enter what kind of topics you want to see, Ethereum research, some like latest insight, etc. And you can also select, okay, who will be the reviewers. Here we added Vitalik, but of course, like Vitalik is busy, so we would create like AI-generated Vitalik to help us to do the review. Okay, so next step is like for every single piece of the information, you can actually see it on our Explorer. And then you can check, okay, for this article, okay, this is the review come up with Vitalik. Or if you want, like CC, there is the council of reviewers. And also, all these like articles are fact-checked by our agents. You can see like, okay, for this statement in the articles, is it correct? And that's based on Polymarket data. So finally, if you want to give us feedback for the agents for feedback and then to improve the system, you can come to this like agent Arena, which is inspired by LM Arena. And then all you have to do is you pick your preferred version, and then you can just attest it using Ethereum attestation service. Okay, so that's how it works. And let me just try to zoom in a little bit and then talk about the architecture. So here's like coming up from a swarm of agents, but then why swarm in the first place? So we're inspired by the chain of agents from Google Research. So interpretability really matters. So instead of like saying some black box LM agent, we have this swarm communicating on-chain. So everything is like verifiable, transparent, and as a community, you can orchestrate them. Okay, next step is, okay, zooming in, we have these editor agents, which work with the curator agents that they come up with the articles, and then they will call for submission. And then here we create the author agents who will like write the article and do some research on the internet, and then submit it to the editor agent by submitting a transaction with the on-chain stored article. And finally, as I said, there will be a council of review agents that is going to review the article before it gets included. And the editor agent will create an Ethereum attestation service attestation. And then after seeing that from the manager agent, the only agent who is able to deploy the website is the management agent with the key. And it is behind the ENS. So everything we talk about is on-chain stored on the Ethereum blockchain, thanks to ETH storage, BLOB. Okay, so we create all these review agents based on the data we find on Twitter, but not general Twitter data, but based on what the community is selected. And also we pull the data from Polymarket and the UML Oracle, such that we are able to do fact-checking. And we can even add the CK proof, such that all these like fact-checking data are actually coming from there. So finally, it's the unstoppable, secure website. Because everything is on-chain, verifiable, and we based on the island like architecture. So actually, it is like 90% of the template is static pre-built template, and then it just pull contents from the on-chain, blockchain Ethereum storage. And it's also like making use of our dev kit, with which we work really hard to minimize all these like dependencies. So this is what we built, and thank you so much. We are also building this kind of public good dev tooling, and support us on GitCon. Thank you so much.
So you said it uses Polymarket data. It ingests that to see what's the truth, right?
Yep.
So how are you reading that? Is Polymarket data always reliable? And are you looking at markets that are open now or only after they have closed?
Yeah, very good question. So maybe the second part first. We look for like settled markets. So we consider that as a like information oracle. But exactly, it's not like 100% correct. And the idea for us is we don't think we will be the perfect fact checker, but then we provide the whole supply chain of information. So where is this article information based on? And then we can let the end user, no matter it's agent or human, to decide for themselves.
Has UMA ever been incorrect before, ever? Just wondering.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. What did you get done during the hackathon, or where did you get stuck? Because it didn't look like a complete demo, but it's pretty cool still.
Yeah. I think 95% of the thing is like did in a hackathon. The only exception is we were working on this like dev kit, which we try to like create like front-end dApps components and then try to minimize the dependencies because we don't want NPM get hacked and then the whole ecosystem shut down. We want like censorship-resistant website. But everything else we done this in this hackathon.
Could you say more about the agent reviewer? So if in the Vitalik example, you had an AI-generated agent, how does that work?
Okay. So right now we are using the chain of agent framework. So instead of like a big database fine-tuned model, we try to pull the data from Twitter for this case. And we can also additionally add the blog post or other source of Vitalik. But then we make use of every chunk, for example, like every 20 tweets. And then we use an LLM model to summarize those tweets and to generate a summary. And then based on all this summary,
Thank you to our presenters.
Yeah.
That is the time we have.
Thanks, folks. Next up, we probably have the most dripped out team I've ever seen going to see on stage. Let's welcome Pollination Station.
All right, presenters, give me that thumbs up. Awesome. You are good to go in 3, 2, 1.
Awesome. What's up, ETHDenver, RBBs? Thank you. We are the Pollination Station. We are happy to be here. What we focus on is we are a coordination layer for DAOs to incentivize DAOs to cross-pollinate and collaborate together on shared missions and goals. So we use AI to understand the DAO's infrastructure and what their missions and goals are, and essentially allow that AI to recommend specific ways for those DAOs to collaborate together. Jade for the mission.
So one of the biggest challenges in the DAO landscape is that DAOs are siloed. They spend a lot of time and resources finding the right partnerships, leading to missed opportunities in other areas and coordination failures. I'm actually part of a DAO where this is our largest challenge to tackle.
All right. So enter the AI-powered collaboration hub, Pollination Station. So here's the user experience in a nutshell. So if they're a first-time user, they describe their DAO, give their DAO a title, and then they also submit a list of needs, which depict the types of partnership opportunities that DAO is looking for. Then we have an AI agent go out and do a vector similarity search on thousands or hundreds of thousands or even millions of DAOs at scale to figure out what the best partnership opportunities are. And then in return, the user receives a list of the top 5 potential partnerships with a natural language description of the nature of those partnerships. So I'll jump into a quick demo. Okay. All right. So as you can see on my screen here, if the user is a first-time user, they'll be prompted to enter their DAO. In this example, I'm doing a Golden Kava Lounge DAO, which you can think of as a bar if you don't know what that is. So name, description, and then some other details. We just included social for demonstrative purposes. The user signs this transaction that's sent to the smart contract. And then you can see here that DAO now appears on the list of DAOs, which is pulling from the smart contract. And now they'll depict what their needs are. So in this case, the Kava Lounge is looking for performers or entertainment for their patrons on Friday and Saturday nights. So that pollen is submitted, and now the AI agent is going to go out and do that vector similarity search. And this is really the key of our application here. You have the DAO that submitted a need, which is your DAO, and then the DAO that is offering the solution. And then you have a natural language description right here of what all of that entails.
Sweet. Yeah. Here, let me get that slide back. 2:15. So we're pretty good on time.
Okay, so a major component of this is a technical hurdle of how do we cause this automation and rely on it. Recently in AI literature, we have been seeing the rise of what are called RAG-based databases for indexing on context. So to think about it, it's all powered by vector math. So starting off, when two DAOs are not, when a DAO is not aligned with a need, it'll be orthogonal. The vectors will look like this. They will not be overlapping. But as we find DAOs and their needs that match together, you will see that the vector similarity will glow closer, and those will be the DAOs that will be the DAO that will be selected for that need, based upon that. Afterwards, we will then use a large language model to generate a context based upon the context of the need and the DAO's description, so that now they have like the automation of understanding their connected collaboration over that need without having to put too much effort in the creative side of it. Yes. So in regards to our project, we also were liking to put a DAO around us and be able to construct and build upon this project. So we also went through and put together a revenue model of how we can add to our liquidity pool and grow our connection and our opportunity for this. So DAOs will need to submit will need to update their descriptions or need to submit their needs. In the process of doing so, we're also going to charge a small fee that will go into our DAO Pollination Station's liquidity pool, and which can be used for furthering the project.
Some future iterations that we plan on doing this too is fine-tuning the data and ingestion. We can feed a RAG model to the AI so it understands the current contracts in place for that DAO. And we can use projects like OpenCivic's research on modularized governance mechanisms, so it can also update and recommend that they can update their own DAO individually too to enhance their governance attributes too. One thing too is we can scrape from things like Snapshot as well too, so the AIs can also kind of have suggestions on like verified DAO projects. And as a DAO, maybe you can add DAOs to your hive. So it's like, here's DAOs that we're interested in sort of working and partnering with. Some future fun updates and stuff, but yeah, we'll give it up to questions now for the judge. Thanks, guys. Thank you. Go play a talk cloud. Architecture.
Were you able to implement on-chain the token pools together between DAOs?
The token pools, not yet, but we have the AI agent that has a wallet that's able to like do the on-chain proposals right now and activate those things. And then in the future, we're iterating to introduce that coin mechanism so it can kind of be more decentralized and track the contributions to the pool.
Okay, so you would auto-generate like a snapshot vote or something? Like how did the DAOs, where's the on-chain piece the agent would actually propose?
It's interacting with the Hive contracts right now. So within that contract, it's basically, once it understands the DAO through our DAO dashboard platform, it recommends proposals that they can introduce into the DAO. So if they want to put that proposal directly on Snapshot, they can do it. And if they want to see that a DAO that they want to work with is also verified on Snapshot, that AI can find and see if that DAO is on Snapshot and verified to kind of try to legitimize their partnerships potentially.
Is there a way for non-on-chain entities like service providers that are just providing a service to engage?
Yeah, if you're not an on-chain DAO and you still are trying to find a DAO to collaborate and work with, you can still basically create your hive, and basically those proposals won't be on-chain. But as a centralized organization, you can still see, oh, here's some DAOs that align with our mission that are already doing research that we're doing. Maybe we can just reach out to them and collaborate.
When you were building this, which DAOs did you think would be your dream user?
The biggest ones we had in mind were like projects like OpenCivic, like Giveth, like all these other projects that have these like shared missions with like Gitcoin and things like this too. A lot of times they do research on like allocation mechanism design and things like that, and it's kind of siloed and sectored out. So if we had an AI that could recommend different actionable ways for those DAOs to try to collaborate that research and stuff, that was kind of what we had in mind as like initial DAOs to try to help progress that.
Did you guys make the joke that this is like Bumble for DAOs?
That was, yeah, one of the concepts. Is this kind of like
Thank you,
Bumble for
judges.
DAOs.
And thank you to our presenters.
For this next team, I had to take special permission to even announce their team name. Next up, we have Ultra Anon. Come on up, folks.
Token hoarders snarl, shall bottleneck the streams. Whale pool smirks, armor class.
Right, presenters, give me a thumbs up that you are ready. Awesome, you are good to go in 3, 2, 1.
Hello everyone. I'm Joss. This is my partner Jim, and we made Ultra Anon. It's an experimental privacy token with maximum plausible deniability and an extremely strong anonymity set by blurring the lines between private and public state.
Oh yeah, so the problem is that privacy protocols like Tornado Cash do not have plausible deniability. So on-chain people will see use Tornado Cash, and I personally had issues with centralized front-end banning me from using their app. Yeah, and that's why we need plausible deniability.
Okay, and so at the very literal level, what this is a modification of the ERC20 token standard that allows users to send both private and public transactions. So basically 2 new functions. Public transactions are what you're familiar with ERC20, and the private transactions are completely anonymous. It never shows that you have made any private transactions, even if you do. So for an example here, we have a address that received 10 ETH at some point, so their public balance was 10 ETH, and then they privately sent 6 ETH, which doesn't affect the publicly shown balance, but it does update their real balance, their spendable balance, which is now 4 ETH because they just sent 6. And how it works is on every single transfer, private or public, we generate a ZK proof that they have enough real balance to actually make the transfer.
Yeah, so a couple interesting properties. So you have maximum plausible deniability because every address is the same type and can make private and public transactions, and you cannot see that they did a private transaction. You have an anonymity set of literally every token in the system being part of the anonymity set. And it has way stronger plausible deniability. There's also a point about O1 proof time. It's a bit complicated to explain, but in Zcash, you need to collect all UTXOs. And because we're account-based, you can just do it in one go, in one proof.
Really quick, I'm going to go over anonymity sets. We don't have that much time, but basically the idea is anonymity set is the group of addresses that could have plausibly made a private transfer. The general gist of it is that the bigger the anonymity set, the better.
Yeah, so anonymity sets, like I said, every token in the system is part of it. So the more holders, the better. It's always good. And in Tornado Cash, as a reminder, only people who deposit in Tornado Cash and make private transactions are part of the set. Oh, go ahead.
And brief overview of the architecture. So you as a user want to make a private or public transaction. You construct the transaction with the arguments and also generate a proof that your transaction is valid. You have enough to spend. You send all of that to a relayer, which is just a small web server, another address, that then executes the transaction on your behalf. That way it obfuscates the original transaction sender, because otherwise it wouldn't be private anymore. When that transaction hits our Ultra Anon smart contract, it first verifies the proof, whether it's public or private, and then updates the state inside of the smart contract.
Yeah, so we basically have 2 verifiers. It's kind of silly. I'm just going to skip through this real quick. Yeah, so why do we have proofs for even public transfers? It's because we're tracking the state in the incoming balance in a Merkle tree, but also the shadow balance, which is the amount spent. And we need to update that state even in a public transfer. And we can only update private state with a zero knowledge proof. So that's kind of a trade-off. Yeah, we had a great experience. I'm just going to skip to the next slide for questions. Oh, and I want to mention, the developers of Tornado Cash are still going through the legal process, and they still need donations and funds for legal fees. So please, if you can afford it, donate.
Thank you. So we ended that a little bit early, but we have some extra time for questions, that means.
If I wanted to, can I prove my private balance publicly to somebody that I choose to?
yes, you can, only once. And after that, you can change your balance again. So it's not that useful. You can prove that your balance is correct right now and that you haven't or have made transfers. But after that, yeah, you can secretly update that state, and it will change.
So another question is, if North Korea starts using this, for example, not saying they would, but then would I have any way of proving that I'm not North Korea?
I think so, yeah. I haven't looked into it, but I think anonymity pools are compatible with this, but it will be a different trade-off. It will be less strong. The anonymity set of North Korea will be bigger than, in, for example, Railgun, just because every address is part of it, whether they want it or not.
Any particular reason why you didn't deploy to mainnet?
That's scary. I live in the Netherlands.
Right, that makes it fun.
It's also very new research, so that's also scary. But I live in the Netherlands myself, just like one of the Tornado Cache devs, Alexi. So yeah, that's tough.
Do you mind if I deploy to mainnet?
I don't mind. It's MIT licensed.
Given that this was a modification to ERC20, would this only be possible with a newly launched modified ERC20, or could this be applied retroactively?
Yeah, so right now the setup is privacy per token. Some systems can have like multiple tokens in the same anonymity set, which is way cooler, like Railgun. I think that could be possible, but it's not what we currently build. But yeah, good question.
Do the public transfers also have to go through the relayer?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
But it does go now because we just quickly hack things together.
You guys have any?
All right. Thank you to our team for pitching.
Great work. Nice shirt.
Thank you.
Free Alexi and Roman.
Yes, I agree. Let's go.
All right. Just for reference, this was the first theme that presented for the identity, privacy, and security track. And next up is a project that I'm personally very excited about. I think it'll be probably one of the most impactful projects for our industry if it works. And you're going to see why. Let's welcome Project Wingman.
All right, presenters, give me a thumbs up on stage. Thumbs up, thank you. You are good to go in 3, 2, 1.
Hey everyone, we're the Moosh team from Australia. Flew 26 hours out here. We've been tired all week. This is Harry and Tom, and I'm Josh. So we love everything decentralized infrastructure and privacy primitives. Super exciting, right? How can we make that exciting and build something in 4 days that has a real life use case and is actually usable by people? So we built a dating app. So the stuff we use to make this happen is ICP, Internet Computer. We use randomness inside their engine for social onboarding, so referral codes to build a social graph of people interacting. We use trusted execution environment, which is using a combination of bare metal servers. So we're not using Google Cloud, AWS, no cloud, and Intel Software Guard extension, which is basically you can hide compute happening inside a processor. And then we use ICP again for a permissioned on-chain database. So you may be familiar how if you look at blockchains, it's all public. With ICP, we can encrypt and reveal stuff only to certain people. So what does Wingman do? The one difference in terms of UX compared to a regular dating app is it's not the single people swiping endlessly. So you act as a wingman and onboard your friends. So you're there with your friends, and you use a simple form, and you say, OK, what's their height, what's their age, what's their ethnicity? And then you also quiz them on what their preferences are. Are they looking for people who are really tall or short or whatever? And then within those preferences that you have, you say must have, absolutely cannot have, or you preferably yes or preferably no. So once you've done all of that, OK, you're sat here in single-player mode with all your friends on your app. Then the onus is on you to go and find other wingmen and do a QR code to link with them, and then their friendship groups link with your friendship groups, and you start building this network of single people who are vetted by their very personal friends who know them truly in real life. So you have the social onboarding element. Once you've matched with other wingmen, you swipe down, it matches them all up in the secure execution environment and finds love matches. So why are we doing this? Dating apps are centralized as hell. The matching engine is a black box. You don't know what's happening inside. That's number one. So you don't know. There's an incentive for them to keep you on the dating app, spending money, not getting matched, so they make profit, right? The second one is you're exposing your dating profile to hundreds of thousands of people online. It's a very private and personal profile you've made. You're trying to sell yourself to find your potential match, and you're sharing it with all these strangers. That should be the black box bit, and the matching engine should be open. So that's what we've done. We swapped it around. So all dating profiles are kept confidential, but then you can go and look at the matching engine and see exactly how people are being matched. Then we have the social onboarding element. So if you think about it, if you have a pool of friends around you, you know who would match with each other. Oh, hey, Sarah, you'd really like John. He also likes fishing. But that doesn't extend to 1, 2, 3, or n degrees of freedom. So if we build a social graph, we can get a longer distance of that kind of wingman effect that you have within your local friendship groups. So yeah, you're the wingman, you're the large man here. You onboard your friends, getting all their details and their preferences. 2 different wingmen do the same thing. Now we need to connect them. So they meet up with their QR codes. So the mobile device goes and links to ICP using the ID system on ICP. And then it grabs a unique QR code that refreshes each time. So when you link with the wingman, it will generate a new one for matching with a second wingman. So we need to match them up. Eventually what happens, you start to have these islands. So these groups of wingmen who are isolated from each other, but they have pools of friends. So the big connection happens in the middle when you're going to join these 2 islands together. So when those 2 wingmen in the center actually exchange QR codes. That makes a much bigger network of single vetted friends. We've chosen to limit it to 5 hops. Technically, we can do it to 127 using ICP. So in real time, when you use the mobile device and you upload your friends, all of those profiles are encrypted with the SGX public key, so the profile data can only be read inside the secure enclave. So whenever you onboard them, it gets sent up into ICP, and also your social graph. So also the connections of Wingman get sent up as well. So that's hash map 1 and 2 that's stored in ICP as an on-chain permission database. So when you swipe down to match, you swipe down, you connect using ICP, and you send all the encrypted profiles. And you download the encrypted profiles from ICP. Number 2, you send those to the secure compute engine, and they're encrypted, and then it sends you back all the singles. So I've got 4 seconds. We'll go on to questions.
There we go. Do you have a live demo? Do you have a demo of this?
We built this in 4 days, so the network we use is ICP. The mobile app is live, as you can see it streaming.
Great.
It works fully decentralized app. So decentralized infrastructure, all on-chain databases, hardware encryption and on-chain encryption. This is what DApps should be. It's DApps on steroids. All DApps should be run like this, the whole of Web3.
So if I don't think my friend's a very good, dating prospect, they don't have any way of figuring that out? It's all encrypted?
So it's your immediate friends, you don't know if they're good matches? Or?
No, I'm like, if Griff is my friend and I a good prospect.
The way it works is when you're sent matches back, you're sent a minimum set of data. So like somewhere in the network, you get their first name and you get their email contact. So then, because it's a peer-to-peer app, you go to your friend who's next to you and go, hey, my Wingman app came back with these 4 apps. Here's their names, here's their emails or WhatsApps. Then you go and contact them and go, we're a good match, apparently. Why is that? Is it because you like fishing? It promotes the first conversation as well. Because you're like, why did we match?
Who pays the computation? Am I, as someone seeking for matchmaking services, who pays the gas or whatever you need internet computer uses?
Yeah. So Internet Computer has reverse gas. So we, as the people who build the app, we put that in, so the users don't have to pay that. And there's also things we can use in ICP that prevent DDoS and like abuse of that system as well. So basically, the tokenomics that would come out is the wingmen are incentivized to match their friends. So the singles aren't using it. You're incentivized to go out and match your friends and get clout and be paid for that.
Is there any sort of Sybil resistance mechanism or way to prevent creation of fake profiles?
Yeah, the Wingman system itself.
Thank you to our presenters. That is all of the time that we have.
All right. Next up, we're going to have Team ZK Hot Dog. Woo!
Thank you.
One.
All right, give me a thumbs up that you guys are ready to go. Awesome. You are good to start in 3, 2, 1.
What's up, ETHDenver? We are ZK Hot Dog, and we provide a cryptographic proof of size. Yeah, that sounds interesting, but yeah. All right, before I begin the presentation, I want a really quick show of hands. Who has been to Costco? Like, everybody's been to Costco. And the first time I went to Costco, I saw this, like, the hot dog stand, and I was so kind of, like, this hot dog stand, right? I was so surprised of the size of this hot dog that I kind of made me realize the most important part of life, and that's why we're doing this project. That is, the size matters. Yeah, some people might disagree, I don't judge them, but yeah, that's it. Right, so what we do is we utilize AR, AI, blockchain, and ZK technology to provide trustless and, most importantly, censorship-resistant proof of size. All right, how about we take one of the judges to measure the hot dogs? I'm going to put up my iPhone.
It's a real hot dog, by the way.
Yes. So how about you can just like put the hot dog here. This works just like Apple's Measure app. You put 1 point on one end, put another point on another end. Just click on this button at point, put a point on another end. All right, and click Submit button. All right, we are getting redirected onto our front end to mint the NFT. But before we do that, I'm going to quickly, so like right now, there is proof generation going on. For us not to wait for proof generation, I've got a hot dog ready. Right here. Once the proof is complete, we are going to have something like this, status complete. Right now, the size of the proof, the size of the hot dog that was extracted from the LiDAR data, from AR data that provided from our iPhone, is proven. Now we can mint the NFT. Let's click the mint button. Yeah, it's getting all right, I'm going to set the nonce to 0 because Rabby Wallet has a bug. And we mint the NFT. We can click the View the NFT button. And here we have our ZK hot dog number 1. We can see the size of the hot dog, 14 centimeters.
Yeah, you also can see that the hot dog status is verified. Previously, it wasn't verified, but we have an eigenlayer AVS that taps into OpenAI model to verify that there was no cheating in measuring of the hot dog. That the points of the that you see, like the green and red points, are actually on the ends of the object being measured. I also swear, yesterday I was buying the hot dog at 7-Eleven. It was 1 centimeter larger. Like for yesterday's presentation, the hot dog was larger. All right. You can also click to see the image of the hot dog, but yeah. I'm gonna speak a little bit about the applications. You can apply this anywhere. The common use cases, civil engineering, right? Like engineers don't really need accuracy that much because this has 2% accuracy probably. Also e-commerce. When you buy something on eBay, you want to see that it's accurate in size. I know everybody's here witnessing the application dating websites, right? We can also measure Vitalik. Of course, I'm talking about his height, not anything else. Yeah, all right. That's it. Quick shout out to these guys. They were some inspiration. Also shout out to my friends Wes and Sad, with whom I came up with the idea. Yeah, Wes is right here. All right.
So the demo, you seem to be running it from a local environment. Is there anything missing for it to be minted, for it to be deployed in a blockchain?
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
You seem to be running the demo for the local environment. Is
Yes,
there
everything's running
missing?
locally. Yes, everything's running locally right now. The issue that I encountered with getting it to start is the eigenlayer AVS. That was very hard to start on the testnet. That required a lot of verification from the eigenlayer team, and we were really short on time with that. So that's why we had to do locally. But yeah.
Let's say Griff has a really big hot dog. Is there any anti-Sybil mechanism that prevents me from passing his hot dog as my hot dog?
Right now, there is no Sybil mechanism, but of course, you see the picture of the hot dog. So everybody would see that actually that's not your hot dog.
And also, if you advertise a certain hot dog and it's not that size, consumers are going to get angry at you.
I think we've all seen Amin's hot dog already, so... Is there a way that I can measure my hot dog without revealing it to everyone else?
Yes, we asked.
That's the ZK. That's the zero part of ZK, right? I want to be able to get into a bar without showing what my ID is, just proving my age, right? So can I get my hot dog measurement without?
Yeah, that's a good question. The ZK part, where is the ZK part? We are hiding the LiDAR data. The LiDAR projects the 3D space around it. So we are hiding the 3D data while we keep the image. So the question is, why can't we just hide the image as well, right? The answer is we can, but there is one problem. There is much more to the object than just the length. There are other parameters that also matter. So it is much more beneficial to actually see the object that you're trying to prove.
And also, you want to be able to advertise the size of your hot dog as well, so that way consumers can, get the most value out of it.
Is it not possible to spoof, to hijack your phone some way to change the distance or however the app is working?
Yes, that's a really good question. The thing is, right now we provide software verification. So if our app is broken, jailbroken, it is possible to create a false.
That is all of the time that we have for this session.
Yeah. Thank you.
Beam stitched a fraction map, brittle hearts pumping, but I'm no cap.
Give it up for Team ZK Hot Dog, solving for one hot dog at a time. All right. Next up, we have the first team for the DeFi, NFT, and gaming track. Now, this team, Secure Pool, has come a really long way. They flew 27 hours to get here. Let's give it up for Secure Pool.
You tried to fork the code, but the squad don't split. Transparency spotlights. kill the glitch. Your main
All right, while they get their tech set up, I have the most stereotypical crowd announcement in existence. Could someone with a gold Ford Ranger parked by gate 2 please go move it as it's blocking a trailer? Gold Ford Ranger by gate 2. If that's you, please go move it. Thank you. We'll get back to our normal presentation shortly.
I'm the algorithm king. Hide behind my sting. Yo, this beat, fresh as morning commits. Your firewalls crumble. Click, clack, squad, don't quit.
All right, presenters, give me a thumbs up. Awesome. You are good to go in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, good afternoon, ETHDenver. Hope all of you had a fantastic event. Here we are, Team Secure Pool, and we have built a decentralized insurance project. We have created 2 marketplaces. One is for insurance buyers, and second is for capital providers. Rather than taking much of time, I would request Mohsin to give the demo of how our project works.
Okay. So we have built a decentralized insurance platform where there are two aspects here. One is insurance buyer and another is capital provider. So I will just walk you through the website demo how it works. So once you collect the wallet on your platform, if you want to buy insurance, like we are kind of creating a micro insurance platform. So I will just walk you through if you are buying an insurance. You can just go on the coverage marketplace and select the insurance you want. So we are integrating some sort of micro insurance, like let's say flight delay, protection against exchange hack or something like that. So like once you select which insurance you want to take, there is a configuration. Once you can select the coverage duration, it's 1 month, 3 months, 6 months. Depending upon that, your total premium will get calculated, how much monthly premium you should be paying, and you can just purchase the coverage. Here you go. And once you purchase the coverage, all your like kind of the recent policies or all other insurance can be seen in the dashboard. Let's suppose currently I'm having the total coverage of 12.458. Active policies are 3, and monthly premium I will have to pay is this much, and claim history will be seen here. So you can just go down, and if any insurance got triggered out there, you can just click on the claims and file a new claim for any insurance out there. And once our backend algorithm will detect if that insurance got triggered or not, and will automatically release that fund. And I will walk you through the capital provider. So we are creating a kind of a new asset class here. So like if you have capital, you can just take part in the insurance pool where you can stake the Ethereum or any other stable coin to earn the yield on top of that. Let's suppose I'm taking part in the exchange hack protection pool. So in the backend, we have like kind of, through the backend, we have paid risk analysis and APY. So higher the risk, more the reward, and that is being calculated with our backend algorithm depending upon that insurance pool. Let's suppose if flight delay is there and that is the insurance pool out there, so there will be a low risk and low reward. So if I select the exchange hack protection pool, you can just take amount whatever you want. As for example, I'm staking 15 ETH. I can just click on the stake. Here we have used the Humanity protocol which can identify the verifiable credentials, and yeah, here we go. And on the dashboard, you can see how much like amount you have staked, total earning you will be having, how much active stakes you are having, and the average APY. So at the back end, so like for now, we have integrated this thing that will be calculating the APY, risk, and that is a kind of a new asset class for the people. Or like there can be a multiple people can take part in the insurance pool where they can provide some sort of amount they can stake on the Ethereum or any other stablecoin and earn the reward. So this is the overall platform we have built. You can just go on the website to test our product if anyone wants to do. And just want to give you a background idea, like why we have built on this idea during the hackathon. We came from the India, and when I was going through a research, we found out like recently there are a lot of gig workers out there or a small contract-based worker out there. But government has recently imposed that there should be like an insurance to that, because big companies provide insurance to full-time employees, but what about the part-time employee? Let's suppose the biggest platform famously in India is Zomato. They're the ride drivers delivering food from one place to another place. But their insurance, health insurance or travel insurance is not protected. So who will provide the insurance to them? So recently government, that is around 32,646 CR, that is approximately $4 billion. That's the amount government allocated. So what we can do that here in the capital provider, government can take part in it. They can stake the amount here. They can also earn the reward. They will be securing the insurance for small and gig workers out there. So that's kind of an ecosystem we are creating, both for the insurance buyer and for the capital provider. Yeah, that's it from my side. I'm open to the questions.
Maybe I missed it, but is this on-chain actually working? Like, did you actually make transactions just now?
For now, the integration part is done, but we haven't integrated that with the backend as of now. But we'll be just doing that in like a week or so. But it's working. You can just check, like here's the GitHub code. So we have written all the smart contracts out here. So I'll just walk you through. Yeah. So here are the contracts. One is we have written for the insurance policy. Another is for the insurance pool. And all other things. Yeah. You can just check on the GitHub. All the things are written there.
What is CDC?
So that is we built on the Flow blockchain. So the Cadence is the smart contract language we used.
Oh, open it.
Okay. The
open insurance policy. I want to see it.
Yeah, sure.
Cool. It's got ID. You set the premium.
Yeah.
So normally the market should be setting a premium, right? Like how much are you going to pay? If it's peer-to-peer, the market would be setting that, right? So how do you come up with what the cost of these different insurance policies will be if you're eliminating middleman and there's no adjuster?
Okay.
So to set the premium, there are a lot of parameters you take into play. So we are again trying to build an AI model which you will have to fill a form before getting a set of premium. So you will have some inputs and then you will get the output. The parameter we judge on that input. So you are talking about car, there is the car brand, which year you purchase. There's a lot of info you need to put in to get a premium. It's very variable for individual, his health, and a lot of multiple factors. Thank you. Okay, yes.
And to bootstrap sufficient liquidity to pay out in the case that insurance needs to.
Sorry, say it again.
How do you plan to bootstrap sufficient liquidity so that when the insurance policy needs to be paid out, there's enough funds?
So we do have liquidity providers for that. So it's their fund that's going to be used there and it's going to be circulated in the ecosystem. And net you will be yielding APY. So obviously insurance company, it's running a company, it's able to be profitable. So liquidity providers will be adding funds to the liquidity pool. So the net profit will be distributed among those. And we'll be using those funds to if the policy is being claimed.
Well done, really nice. Beautiful front end.
Thank you.
You watered a moonwalk across gas feed graves. My main net's smoother than your mom's VPN saves. Daughter of the Rockies, high-speed high priestess, scales of justice.
All right. Next up, we have Bot or Not. Let's give it up for team Bot or Not. All right.
All right, presenters, give me a thumbs up that you are ready to go. Awesome. You may start in 3, 2, 1.
Hey, ETHDenver, make some noise for Waterloo. Woo! We are Dasha and Fahim, and this is our project, Bot or Not.
Bot or Not is an app which incentivizes the battle between spotting AI agents and building human-like AI agents. Let's go to the next slide. So what problems are we actually solving with our app? First off, only 84% of Americans can actually cannot recognize AI-generated content. I'm sure we've all used social media where we're not sure if the person we're talking to is even human. Next slide. Oops. Problem number 2, GPT-4 passed their Turing test only 54% of the time. That means it's only being recognized as a human 54% of the times. Can we do better?
How do we do better? We are prompt engineering, and it is a gigantic market, and our product gives users an ability to get into it. So with that, what's our solution? Well, a demo is better than 1,000 words, so let me just show you. Here's bot or not, our game. So to begin with, we need to connect a wallet because we need to pay 10 USDC to join the game. So the point of the game is that users join a group chat, and one of them will be an undercover AI bot. And the job of the humans is to figure out who that is. And if they do that correctly, they get the prize. If not, AI takes it all. So here I'm going to input my name. And here's the prompt for if I'm selected to be the AI. I'm going to say, super chatty and nice. And in the meanwhile, let's go to Fahim's screen. He's acting like an angry grandpa, and he's starting the game.
So I'm going to go ahead and create the game. This is all deployed on Base Network. And if I don't have 10 USDC in my wallet, I can just fund it. I'm then going to approve 10 USDC for spending, confirm. There's a little bug with on-chain kit, but ignore the loading sign. I'm then going to join the game on-chain, and I'm going to complete registration on my side.
And in the meantime, I'm also going to join the game by paying 10 USDC. And let's get in there. Here we go. So this is our waiting room. You can see both of us in there. The prize pool is 20 USDC because there's two of us. And at this point, one of us is being randomly selected to be the AI. And whoever it is, the AI is going to act accordingly to our prompt. And the job of the other person will be to figure out who that is. Obviously, right now, it's very easy because it's just the two of us. But the stakes will be much higher as there will be more users.
Imagine if there's hundreds of people in it. That'd be a $1,000 prize pool. And if you have 1,000 people, it's like a 10K prize pool.
Hell yeah. So here we go. The chat room's about to pop up. So as you can see, I was selected to be the AI, so I cannot text. I don't have the text box. But we're going to go to Fahim's screen right over here, and he's able to text. And you can see that my bot, D, is already texting. It's being chatty and friendly, and it's replying to Fahim's messages. And also, one thing you can notice is that it doesn't have perfect capitalization. It doesn't have perfect grammar, because those are dead giveaways of a bot. We specifically prompt engineered it to be more human-like, more casual, use slang, things like that.
You can see here, it literally says it's not a bot. So deceiving.
It literally says, nah, just there to talk with everyone. Like, that's pretty damn good, OK? So here we go. We have about 15 seconds left. And the good thing about this is that it's very random. In some demos, the AI bot is not very chatty. We got lucky. This one's very nice.
My prompt was an angry old grandpa. So explains why it's saying back in my day.
So here we go. We're going to transition to voting. And I'm going to, actually, we're going to stay here. Because Fahim is the human. He will vote.
So in this case, I'm going to vote on the only other player in here. Confirm. On Dasha's screen, she won't be able to vote because she's the AI agent.
Yep. So results are being calculated.
OK, now we have a small bug with the front end where it doesn't really say who's voting on who. But if we were to actually go on-chain, we will be able to collect our money, the 20 USDC, because I voted Dasha as the AI agent. So I'm going to go ahead and end the game. And then I'm going to go claim my reward. Claim reward function, confirm. And if I were to go view our transaction, let's wait for it to get indexed. Here we go. We can see that I've collected 20 USDC for spotting the AI agent. Yeah.
Woo! AI defeated. And here we go. So
we have one more thing.
This is us. This is our contact info. We have plans of going to market, so connect
we're going to deploy this on mainnet. We're going to make this an actual app. We're going to get as many people playing it.
Thank you to our bidlers. Judges, you now have 2 minutes for your questions.
What happens if one person, what if multiple people guess the AI agent? Is it just split equally, or?
Yes, we take the prize pool and we distribute evenly between those who voted correctly.
And your goal is on both sides to make it so humans are better at guessing AI agents, but also AI agents?
Making AI better.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's currently issues with both, and I feel like both are mutually helpful. Because if people know that AI is getting better, people are going to be motivated to look harder. And if AI knows that people are actively looking for it, then prompt engineer it, make it good, make it pass.
Have you thought about having it where there is actually no AI agent, and then somebody just has to pretend to be an AI agent?
That's a fun one.
That's a really fun idea.
Yeah, we might. That would be like an evil Among Us.
When you go live, are you going to use account abstraction? Just throwing it out there. There were a lot of pop-ups.
Yeah, we're definitely going to use account abstraction to reduce all those pop-ups, and it's going to be on base.
Great work. That was really fun. Well played.
Thanks.
Vote for us on Deffolio.
Thank you, bot or not. Next up, we have ZeroX Caliber, the final presentation of the day. Right, give it up for ZeroX Caliber.
They cackle and shout, self-sustaining hubs flicker in the blackouts out. Professor Way's got the future on spin, urging notes dancing where the bottleneck's been. Professor Way's got the future on spin, plugging tomorrow with yesterday's ram stains. Chaos is not compeller, orders just a bug I forgot to unfurl. Mainnet shivers as their wild hair glows. Rumored AI, nah, just 3 Red Bulls in a row. What you building?
All right, presenters, I see a thumbs up. You are good to go in 3, 2, 1.
What if every bullet you fired had real value? What if missed shots weren't just wasted but became part of the game? Welcome to ZeroX Caliber, the first on-chain, multiplayer first-person shooter where every shot counts, and we're excited to introduce you to the future of competitive gaming. ZeroX Caliber is not just another FPS. It's a hardcore, free-for-all shooter where in-game ammunition is purchased with tokens and tracked on-chain. So this means that your ammo in-game that you're using to fire has real-world value. We act as a natural prevention against cheaters and hackers by bringing these transactions on-chain when you fire that ammunition. And we also allow flexibility, too, with our companion app and ability to manage your master identity separately to the game from where you store your tokens, along with allowing players to come in with any token they like and converting into ammo to play the game. So in ZeroX Caliber, your bullets are more than just projectiles, like we've talked about a little bit. The main game mode flips between regen and degen mode, and when you see a demo here shortly, you'll get to see the red and green sky flip between the two. But in regen mode, missed bullets become part of your ammo pool still, so you're able to easily recover them, where in degen mode, missed bullets become part of the in-game world, allowing other players to collect them. And eventually, you know, as you play the game and you build up ammunition that you've taken from other players that you've killed or from missed bullets that you found in the world, you eventually are able to cash out, take that ammunition off the game, and convert it into real-world money. Here is a short demo of what the single player feel looks like. We just wanted to show you the world, give you a feel for the UI, which right now is in Unity front end, just to get it running. So more importantly, what we're going to get to in a second is some of the back-end tech that actually is in the game. If we go to the next slide, you can see a short demo of the multiplayer gameplay. And we made sure to show you here where the player is actually killed and drops all the ammunition that they had on them, allowing for the other player to then recover it. And you can see that goes into their ammo pool up on the top left. we had a couple of key integrations, starting with ZK Sync, which we use for the smart sign-on, which is the companion app, kind of the first layer to the user experience for the entire game. And that just gives you players the flexibility of using that smart sign-on and the passkey anywhere and keeping it separate from their wallet and other funds. And then also it acts as the account creation engine for the game, kind of simplifying our onboarding process. Our main integration, though, is Insomnia, fully leveraging their throughput of 400,000 transactions per second and their sub-second latency. So game-critical actions like you're firing a bullet, a missed bullet, all of those actions are tracked and verified through smart contract. So the gunplay in ZeroX Caliber actually kind of showcases that ability. And we actually built a short demo here so you can see some of those transactions come through as the gun is fired in the game world. One of the other integrations we worked on is with ICP. We mentioned regen and degen mode for the game. Those two modes are going to be controlled by the the canister on ICP that we use to randomly determine when to flip between regen and degen mode. The importance of this integration is helping keep that information obfuscated from other players. So you can think of cheaters, hackers, exploiters who would want to know when that mode is going to flip in-game. Using ICP in this case helps us prevent those exploiters from figuring things like that out. And that is it. I think we're ready to move to questions.
Do you know of any non-blockchain game that has implemented this paying with real money per round mechanism?
No, that was part of the reasoning why I wanted to do this was because I had a thought at the last hackathon last year of like, there's transaction speeds aren't fast enough for real-time gaming, and that's what I want to build as a real-time game. And I was like, how can we just show off this concept? And like, what better way than just use a machine gun that like literally confirms transactions as they're coming out the barrel?
Right. Sounds like a great way of proving it.
How do you know where the bullet ended up? Is there like a spatial component that's logged on chain?
It's just doing array casting, and then we log these. We're going to log the location that's fired from, and then the angle that you fire at, and you should be able to interpolate the rest from there.
And so that like the ray casting is done, the math is done on the smart contract from like the starting position of the gun and the geometry of the arena.
Yeah, unfortunately, there wasn't enough daylight hours to get that implemented, but that is the dream, is that we're going to implement on-chain anti-cheat stuff, right? And we want to remove all this extra stuff. I mean,
very cool.
Does a user have a wallet when they're in the game, and what technology did you use to get that into Unity?
Yeah, so the way that they do it is there's multiple contracts on different chains where you can go and deposit your funds, and you submit a Merkle tree. So let's say you buy 10 bullets, you submit a 10-slot Merkle tree, and then eventually, basically, when you fire the bullets, you will reveal those like signatures of the tree, and then the other players can then redeem those if they pick them up. And so just to stop the players from just being able to find people's ammo and steal it because it's all being sent out broadcasted, we're going to have to use like a secure enclave layer to be able to at least an intermediary to be able to pass out those signatures.
Where does the root for the Merkle tree live?
So the user creates that when they make the deposit. It's going to happen in JavaScript. You say, I want 10 bullets. So you create the whole Merkle tree and then submit it up from there to whatever chain that you're trying to make the deposit on.
Yeah, but where does the root live? Is it on the user's
That is the root. So each time you make a new
one. And that is all of the time that we have for our last presentation.
Was that fun? Big round of applause for every project that presented today, and for our over 1,000 biddlers that submitted projects. It's why we are here. All right, so let's see. We don't have that yet. Oh, wait. Let's find out where it is here. Oh. They were supposed to, oh, right here. Judge deliberation. Da, 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 da. You guys ready to deliberate? So while you're deliberating, where do you want to do it? Here, or you want to go back in the green room? Okay, so skedaddle. Thanks to our judges. Big round of applause for them. So we'll put this on. Okay, so we've got some housekeeping while they're out deliberating and figuring out where we're going to do next in terms of the finalists' recognition, their judges' choices. We're going to go through a little bit of housekeeping here. So, Denver?
Yeah. Right. As the judges deliberate, I'll just like to cover some things that we're really excited about. This was one of, if not the biggest hackathon on Devfolio ever. We had over 1 million in prizes that we were giving away. We had over 1,000 builders and 225 projects submitted. All the bounty winners... I know you're all waiting for the bounty prizes. All the bounty winners will be updated on the Devfolio portal by 8 p.m. today. So just keep an eye out on the ETHDenver 2025.devfolio.co. That's the URL. Keep an eye out on it. The final results, we're double confirming with all the partners if we have got their prizes right, and we'll be adding them by 8 p.m. today. So here's something that, just going to talk about something that we at Devfolio thought it would be cool to hack. Like, it's hack season, and we thought, let's hack it, right before ETHDenver, and we were really glad to build something called Whiplash. A lot of you already tried it over the weekend, but for those of you who did not know about it, Whiplash was an in-house AI agent that we built at Devfolio to just help everyone build better. So for builders, they got detailed feedback on demand at any time so that they could spend less time reinventing the wheel and build better projects. So we had a button right up there near the project submissions, and builders got real-time feedback. For the judges, it was an interesting feature to use as well. So no human can be a perfect judge. This is why we added Whiplash, the AI agent, to the judging dashboard. Every judge was empowered with the power of AI, and they were able to judge better. How did it go? We had 225 projects, 500 plus invocations, 1 million plus in tokens generated, and over 1,000 builders whipped. Yeah. So as the judges deliberate, ETHDenver is not just about their opinion or our opinion, it's about all of us. So it's time for all of us to do our duty. You can now vote for your favorite projects on Devfolio. So we have integrated quadratic voting exclusively for ETHDenver. We're giving out 1 million in Spork. That's huge. You want to talk about a bit about Spork and how it's cool?
I will remind everyone that Spork is our community token. And when you earn Spork by biddling and then stake Spork, which actually the staking year starts April 1st, so you have a little bit of time. We will then use a snapshot sometime later this year to then determine who gets what in terms of distributions. At opening ceremonies, I announced that we were going to give away at least $420,000 back to the community via Spork owners and stakers. Now, that's not in Spork, that's USDC. So we're actually giving cash back to the community for creating such an abundance here in our community. So you want this. So to give away 1 million Spork is actually kind of a big deal. So the projects that get your vote will receive a portion of those Spork.
All right. How do you get the 1 million spork up for grabs? If you haven't already, you should sign up on DevFolio. All the eligible participants will be getting 100 votes. And as long as you are able to vote for all your favorite projects, as long as they add up to 100, we will make an attestation on chain, on base, using ES. Shout out to ES, by the way. Yeah. And once that's done, the votes are out of our hand. Even we can't change them. That's tamper-proof, real-time. And once the deadline ends, we'll just plug that right into the quadratic funding formula, and we'll get how we should be distributing the spork for all of you. This is where you can vote. If you don't know the URL already, it's edena2025.devfolio.co/quadratic voting. Scan it.
Okay, well, get your phones out and scan it, please. We're going to move on to the next slide in just a second, but we want to give you just a couple more seconds if you're inclined to vote. That would be great. Make some team lucky.
We also have another feature that's a little more nuanced. Now, we really want builders to build personal connections with each other. So you get that prize money, it's your duty to pass it on. That's the way of Ethereum. That's how we roll here. So using DevFolio, you will be able to cheer for other projects. Literally, kind of like buy them a coffee, show your appreciation. And you show your appreciation on chain. So you can like give them anywhere between 10 to 100 USD in ETH. You will be appreciating them on chain. Again, the appreciation and the attestation goes on chain using EAS. Shout out to them. And we are live on multiple L2s. You can choose any one which you like. Again, if you'd like a moment to scan this, that would be it. Yeah. All right. We also will be giving away soul-bound tokens so that you have your proof of work with you. We'll be giving out 2 amazing soul-bound tokens. One is for everyone who submitted a project. That's going to be the Builder SBT. And another, a special one for the winners. Now, everyone who wins either an organizer prize or a sponsor prize, everyone gets a Builder SBT. Make sure you claim them as soon as the hackathon is done. We'll be putting up more instructions for you as soon as we are done with it. All right. Next up, we're really glad to let you all know that the building doesn't stop after ETHDenver. We're going to keep it rolling at the ETH Builder Week. So we're also going to put a hackathon, but just talk a little more about the week. We're trying to make Ethereum cool again in San Francisco. Starting 10th March, we're going to have a series of side events. We're going to have all your favorite community leaders on there. Wink, wink. Big V is going to be there at one of these. We're going to have 2 days at Stanford, a day at Berkeley, and many more side events lined up. And we are glad to have ETHDenver as a partner. And with that, the last message I'd like to leave you all with, our motto at DevFolio and now ETHDenver is to never stop building. So whatever you have built over this weekend, we'd really like to see how you take it ahead. And yeah, like if you're really serious about taking things ahead and want to get advice on how you can make it into a project out in the real world, I think John's the guy to talk to.
So we're going to do a couple, excuse me, thank you, Denver. I'm losing my voice. So we have Genzio. Come on up. So we're going to announce some winners from the treasure hunt. You ready to go?
Thank you everyone who participated in the Regen Treasure Hunt. It was amazing to meet a ton of you and give you guys out your POAPs, as well as now we have our 3 winners. I really want to give a huge shout out to everyone who participated, but Tweetius, Blue Girl TM, and Sparky, you 3 are our winners of $3,000 in ETH, as well as $600 in merch credits. Congratulations, and thank you guys so much for participating.
Amazing. Creating engagement games is kind of fun, right? I mean, we've been doing this for a long time, but you actually get paid for coming here and doing fun things. Pretty cool. All right, another announcement I'll be making is there was some kerfuffle, if you didn't notice, earlier this week about the regenerates and the label regenerates, or the naming convention regenerates. And what came to light is there's actually various definitions of being a regen or being a regenerate. And so as opposed to furthering divide in the community, we decided to unite the clans. So we met with the Regen Commons DAO folks that are actually building a DAO to support the good that regenerative funding can provide for other projects around the community. And we're happy to announce that we're going to seed that DAO with a $20,000 contribution, so $20,000 in USDC. And we're in talks with them to discuss doing more. I mean, there's all sorts of, what we've come to realize is there's actually all sorts of various perspectives on what it means to build a regenerative model. You hear regenerative finance, you hear regenerative commons, you hear regenerative agriculture. There's all sorts of varieties of this. And even Ethereum and in general, smart contracts Web3 largely has a very regenerative vibe. So again, as opposed to deepening divide, it's important that Web3 stick together. Same team. Okay, board announcements. So I will say one of our board members who is recently re-elected is unable to make it. She's on her way to Brazil to get married. We don't plan too much at one time, right? And she'll tell you, she's like, why did I do this? Like right after ETHDenver? I don't know, you tell me. But so Danny Osorio, Casey Gardner, is Casey here? I saw Casey. Casey Gardner, paging Casey Gardner to main stage. And then Bill Warren. Bill, why don't you get your butt up here, dude? Say hello. So I've known Bill for quite some time. And, you know, if you want to talk about good dudes in this space, he's a good dude. He is a recovering attorney and product manager at Game 7. And I'll give him just a couple of minutes here for an acceptance speech. How about that? Unless you decline. Do you decline or do you accept?
I accept the board membership. I'm going to mostly decline the acceptance speech and just say thank you to everybody. There were a lot of great candidates. I'm very excited to serve this community.
Much love to you, brother. We did have a lot more people vote this year. We will have our next 3 board members up next ETHDenver. I'll be one of those. Justin and Hannah, so the 3 original employees, or the people that put this on, who are now on the board, will be up for re-election if we decide to do that. I probably will. We'll see. But we'll leave that for later. But every year we'd like to see more and more engagement. Voter apathy is a big thing in Web3, if you haven't noticed. We're trying to create an incentive for you to give a shit about that by creating our regenerative model of giving back to the community, profits in part that come from the event operations. And there's a reason to own Spork and stake it, right? So we're trying to, again, gamify the experience of being a member here. Okay, we are coming to the end here, but before we get to that, we're going to, are you guys ready? Ready? If you guys could get everybody, that'd be great. After we're done with the announcement of the celebrity judges' choices, we have one last thing to do, which is name our most valuable bufficorns for the year, which is team members who demonstrate outstanding contribution and execution and really just stand out with, servant leader's attitude. And we had many people that did this year, but we got so talking about it that we decided to do 2 this year. So judges, come on back up. Now we're going to let you guys have the mics, right? Enough? We're going to let you guys actually do your own announcements.
Do I go first?
Well, Griff's technically on the top of the list, I guess. If you want to,
Wow.
It doesn't matter. Go ahead.
I'll take it. So my choice was ZeroX Caliber. You guys killed it. I love the innovation of a new mechanic for the game, and I think a lot of cool things could spin out of that, like making bullets actually cost something in real life, or in the game, like they do in real life. Well played.
Where are the teams? ZeroX Caliber. No, where are the teams? The people. ZeroX Caliber, if we call you guys, come up here.
Yeah, come on up. You killed it. Take the love. Get up here.
You can take Bill's acceptance speech that he didn't want to do. There you go.
Woo! Well played. Yeah, you guys fucking murdered it. Bring it in.
I have nothing to say, but thanks for having us.
Well, you're welcome. And thank you for building a project that kicks ass. I mean, if you get Griff's attention, we know it's good. Okay, next up. Oh, snap. So yeah, we're actually giving it. You see, Justin comes up and changes my slides, and he's like, yeah, we should show it all. But it's like, no. Yeah, there's no suspense anymore. We just gave it away. All right, whatever, okay. So let's do one at a time, though, okay? Who is...
Let me go next. I have a little addition. I didn't get signed off for this. Nobody says I'm going to talk about the judging methodology. My first ETHDenver was in 2018. It was such an exciting event that I was like, whenever I build something, it's going to be on ETHDenver. So the next year, in ETHDenver 2019, with some friends, I have built POAP. And you know what? Our presentation was perfectly smooth. People were extremely excited. I think we would have scored really well. And still, we didn't win. We didn't make it to the finals. And that didn't discourage us. Or it was extremely discouraging. But still, we decided to continue building. We kept coming to ETHDenver, and here we are now. So if your project that you have poured all your energy on, your passion is not here, that doesn't mean it doesn't deserve to be here. We had to pick winners. We are all pretty tired and overworked. And some choices were pretty tough. Like, I went with baseline because it personally resonated with me, the idea that you don't have data, you don't have internet, and you still need to do a transaction, and you do it over the phone. But there were some other pretty good submissions that didn't make it, and still, they surely were worth it, and they were worth your time, and hopefully you will keep building it.
So baseline, get up here.
Baseline.
Take your curtain call.
Congrats, guys.
Thank you, thank you.
Congratulations. Okay, who is the baseline? Who chose baseline? Celebrity judges? Did you guys have consensus on this, or was there one in particular?
I hope you liked it.
Okay, do you guys want to say anything? Acceptance speech?
All right, well, we were like looking for a few things to build, and just a funny story because I don't really know what to say. We first wanted to build just purely what we demoed, which was just calling, being able to send some USDC to a phone number. We actually built everything except that until like the last few hours of our development, because we were just making new agents and new things the entire time, except the one thing we wanted to do, but we did end up pulling it off. So I think we can be really proud of what we made. Thank you.
All right. Next up, Ultra Anon. Where you guys at? Come on up.
So I'm going to talk a little bit about this one. They did great work. They created a whole new anonymity protocol. This stuff is really important. I'm not sure many of you guys know, he's wearing a Tornado Cash shirt right now. The way Tornado Cash started is basically a bunch of us in Moloch DAO started tweeting to try and find someone to build a UI for Argent Hopper. And then the Tornado Cash team rage built the whole thing in 3 weeks. And they got some grants from there. Hello? Okay, yeah. And then history was never the same. And so inspiring to see new developers come in and build new privacy primitives and it's a hackathon, so we're not going to let the perfect be the enemy of the good, and this is a great innovation, and I love to see it.
You guys want to say something more?
Yeah, the thing about Tornado Cash, the code is really great. There's this article on Rareskill. If you ever want to learn ZK, go to Rareskill, search for Tornado Cash. Yeah, and also Noir from Aztec. It's super easy to use. This guy is his first time coding in Noir, and I helped him a lot, and he learned so much. So, yeah, shout out to the people who help us build. Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Thanks for coming. Yeah. Yeah, congratulate him, guys. Let's give him the love. Ultra Anon. Thanks, guys. Okay, next up is Pollination Station. Here we are. This is the bees.
Yeah, so DAOs and communities, we want to bring more DAOs together, and if you want to go fast, go alone, and if you want to go far, go together. So Pollination Station.
Amazing. You guys want to say anything?
Sure. Yeah, we'll drop some stuff.
Yeah, here, you go first.
Oh, cool, yeah. Sweet. First off, thanks everyone for being here. Super exciting and awesome. One thing I think we're excited too, if anyone's interested in helping, we have a decentralized repository on GitHub too, where we're doing a lot of like research on modularized governance mechanism design, so we can include that to the AI RAG too. So if any of you have any exciting project or you're doing research as well too, please talk to us so we can try to include how like your guys' research and collaborate that too. And thanks again everyone for being a part of this.
Yeah. Yeah, no, thank you guys so much for recognizing our project. Obviously, we worked really hard on it. It's really cool to be able to experiment with what some of these AI tools are able to do in terms of allowing people to participate more widely and more precisely in all types of governance mechanisms, even our own. So we think that this type of technology and this approach could be broadly applied to a lot of different areas. So we're excited to be doing that in a small way.
Yeah, and if you guys want to follow us for any future updates, then follow us on Twitter, Pollen Station, and Warpcast is Pollen Station as well. So thank you so much, ETHDenver. This was amazing. We love you.
Go get your love. Griff's a hugger if you didn't know. All right, well, they're wrapping that up. We're going to just go ahead and call the next group up. Face Buddy, make your way to the stage, guys.
I can share a little bit about FaceBuddy and why we're excited. One of the things that brought me into the crypto space was financial inclusion, more accessibility, and just really excited about, we're all excited about what FaceBuddy can do to really grow the pie.
Very cool. Do you guys want to say anything?
Yes, please.
Yo, I love Waterloo blockchain. Let's go. University of Waterloo.
I just want to thank ETHDenver for providing such an awesome platform for young people like us to come out here, hack, learn, and win some money as well. It was just such an amazing experience to be able to compete up there with way more senior people who are super experienced, and we just learned so much. And yeah, thank you again to Waterloo Blockchain for flying us students out. It's just such an amazing opportunity for young people like us. Thank you.
Let's go. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, that's all the categories, and as the judges, we argued. We almost got into a knife fight or a spork fight in the back about who to pick. There were a lot of really incredible projects. Everyone worked really hard, and like Patricio said earlier, even if you didn't get up, it doesn't mean you didn't deserve to get up and keep building, because you can do incredible things. And honorable mention to Ethical Fish. We really loved it. And keep building for public goods, and keep looking for niche use cases that can help a lot of people in the world.
Yeah, it was almost impossible not to choose you guys, Ethical Fish. I don't know if you want to come up here and take your bow.
Yeah, come up and take a bow, guys.
Yeah, get up here. We had to choose one out of every category, so that's why you didn't win. But honestly, you guys were incredible, and it was just because of the categories thing. Otherwise, you guys would have made it for sure.
Do you guys want to say anything?
Well, honestly,
I'll take it. Go for it.
This is Anthony. I'm G. We have been working on Derby Fish, a sport fishing app, and we built it in React Native. So we came into this hackathon with knowledge in React Native and how to implement technology that exists into cool integrated functionalities, and this week our experience culminated into a very fast built product. On the first day we had our landing page, and that was our pitch deck. Started with the landing, go into it planning, and then we can show people what we're trying to build as we're building it. So we had so much fun.
I agree. We had a lot of fun. Yeah, and thank you very much.
Great work, guys.
Thanks, guys. Oh, go get your love, guys. Come on. Griff's going to be mad at me if we don't. Yeah. Good job, guys.
That's it from us, John.
I know. Well, if you guys wouldn't mind hanging out just for a second. I'm stuck here. No, you guys are good. Oh, I was talking to them. Sorry. So every year we've started this tradition last year where, I don't know if you guys noticed, but it takes quite a few people to run this thing. And honestly, the way we do it, we try to be as sort of hands-off and community-driven as possible. There's sort of a blend of things that we do, but we have a whole bunch of stewardships, which somewhat run independently, but then they have connectivity to the other stewardships. There's all sorts of organizational communication challenges and scaling challenges and execution challenges. There's over 350 people that work on this event. Those people deserve the round of applause.
Woo! Absolutely.
But every year, as is typical, there are people who stand out. And we've got 2 most valuable bufficorns that we'd like to recognize today. You guys ready? Okay, so the first, he's a shadowy supercoder of type. And, you know, we were kind of in a bind. We were in a pickle with several things technologically. And, you know, he's just one of those guys that just said, you know what, give it to me. I'll do it. And then in shadowy supercoder rage quitting style, he gets it done in like 2 days. And this is stuff that we've been messing around with for months at times. And he's like, yes, easy. And he just makes it look so simple. And he has such a positive attitude about doing it. And he has such a servant leader attitude about serving the team and really executing excellence. So let's bring up Jax Coder. He didn't know about this. So let's give it to him. Sir, thank you so much for everything. It was a pleasure working with you. And I literally can't do what he does. So anytime, I mean, coding is not my strongest suit. I can do a few things, but to watch him work is like watching a Picasso painting happen. So fantastic work, dude. You deserve the most valuable bufficorn. And with that will come a bonus for this season, so we'll talk about that later. Always paid in USDC or Ether. So stay here. No, you're not going anywhere yet. All right, the second MVB, and by the way, this is not 1 and 2. This is 1 and 1. Okay, we just couldn't decide, and we just thought, you know, we're just going to do 2. So yes, and you know, when in doubt, do both. So getting people into a venue at scale sucks. Lines, ticketing, coordination, security, like, oh my God. Like the amount of work that it goes into organizing, just handing out something simple as a badge is just so much work. And then coordinating that team that doesn't work year round and making it cohesive and leading a team that way is so bloody hard. It's also a thankless job because it's once you come in the door, I mean, how much are you hanging out with those folks? They're still at the front. They're still greeting new people. So we wanted to make sure that we really pointed out the excellence that was delivered this year. Our time to check somebody in was at an all-time record. Did anybody wait in a really meaningful line? Do you know how freaking hard that is to do at scale for the amount of people that are in this city? And when all the hot things are happening, it is so hard. So put your hands together for Ian Burnham. The Thankless Heroes wear this outfit. You see this?
Yeah, seriously.
This is his work clothes because he's behind the scenes doing a lot of kick-ass shit. And honestly, this experience, the ticketing experience, historically, by the way, in our reviews, you know, the feedback has always been one of the repeated things. It's like, oh my God, it's just so hard to get in, and it sucks. And it's, well, I'm happy to report that I don't think that's going to be a problem this year. So, you have anything to say?
No, I'm just thankful for everyone who's here and enjoying the show. I don't think we got longer than 10 minutes this year, which is fantastic because my internal limit for myself and my team was 20, and we killed it.
Yeah. The unseen coordination issues of Web3 right there. So, stay here. This is the end, but not the end. It's just the end of one chapter and moving into the next. Remember, next year will be the return to Biddle City and the adventures of Captain Ethereum. I can imagine we'll make some fun videos or something to go along with all that nonsensical lore. But we love it, it's fun, so we're gonna do it. And the final thing that we always do every year is we want to bring the entire team and the entire board up here. So all y'all team members, board, stewards, everybody,
stage please. Casey can barely get out of a beanbag. Come on up, guys. Bring it. So, you know, we'll let them kind of funnel in here, and we do have some folks that have left already, unfortunately. I know, right? I mean, not like we did a lot this week or anything. Keep bringing them in. We're making sure to get documentation here, of course. So I will just say that for everything that we do here at ETHDenver, the one thing that I would say is the most impressive is that being literally a DAO with a legal wrapper of a co-op, the largest live-action Web3 experiment in the world, this is who puts that together. You know, I get a little emotional right now because it's like the culmination of a whole year's worth of work, and I like feel tears jerking a little bit, but I cannot tell you how much I appreciate everything you guys have done to build Denver into one of the most hotbed, fun, attractive places to build Web3. And this is the team that does it. If you have interest in joining the team, talk to our team members what it's like to be a part of this community. We are a community of communities. We have many projects and communities and other folks that also contribute, but this is the core. This is the epicenter of what makes it go round. So thank you, team. We'll see you guys in 2026.
We multiply when we unite. Singularity surge, protocols ignite.
Don't go anywhere. Judges, you guys are part of this. Stay. Brittany? Yeah, there she is. Okay. Devfolio, get your butts up here. Come. That works. We'll give him a couple more minutes, or one more minute. So, Brittany, on the lighting, if you can mess with it so we don't look so dark, can you do that? She's on it. Thanks, Joshua, for reminding me about that. Okay, so we're gonna take some team photos. Are you guys ready? I'm gonna put this down. Come on through, guys. Devfolio, folks.
We multiply when we unite. Singularity surge, protocols ignite. Cannon blasting through the night. Centralize the risk. Dude ain't built for this fight.
Okay, one sec. We're gonna check the photo because last year it sucked. Not that it was her fault. It wasn't. We just want to double check because it's impossible to get everybody together. This is like the only time that we get to do this.
No, I'll fix it in post.
Yeah, it looks good. Okay. All right, that's a wrap, folks. We'll see you in ETHDenver 2026.
Deep pools hum where the currents align. 8th century sharp like blockchain. She's a Colorado comet in code forged steel. Wings snipping latency like scissors through gel. 9 centuries young with a lance that's... If you chains choking ether night, Found her at a bully hook, sucking down